gentlemen, welcome to Ariel Helwani's MMA Show!
Back in your life on this Monday, June 10th, 2019. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ariel Helwani. Welcome back to the program. My, oh my, do we have a lot to talk about this week. We are coming off a thrilling weekend in Chicago, highlighted by the first ever Helwani Roadshow Friday night. A magical night, an unbelievable night, one of the most memorable nights of my career. June 7th, 2019, we had Stipe Miocic, Ben Askren, Paul Felder, Wonderboy Thompson, and Eddie Alvarez for the first ever Nose World Order Trivia Challenge. And I won't spoil who won, because if you want to listen to it, you can on our old feed, the feed that you're maybe listening to this after the fact. The usual podcast feed. You know the one. You can actually download the show, and it sounded great. I want to thank Elizabeth and Daniel and Glenn and everyone involved. It was amazing. 200 plus fans there. It was incredible. I couldn't be happier. Also, special shout out to Andrew Davis of the Stats and Information Group for coming up with the questions. It was a lot of fun, and I hope to do many more. Thank you to everyone who came to the event Friday night at Lincoln Hall. And of course, Saturday night at the United Center, Henry Cejudo makes history once again. He is now the Olympic champion, the flyweight champion, and the bantamweight champion of the UFC. He defeats Moraes in a great fight, an entertaining fight. Who thought that fight would not live up to the hype? Who thought that fight would be boring? It was amazing. And now you have a flyweight who holds all the gold. And apparently, according to Dana White, the flyweights have been saved. I'm reserving judgment on that one, as I wrote on my column at ESPN.com, my random thoughts. You can check it out right now. I want to see if they're actually going to start booking Henry in flyweight fights, or if they're just saying that so that they could call him a double champ, because there's a difference. And there's only like 10 fighters left in the division. So are they actually going to actively start building it back up after getting rid of those guys? Or do they just want to say it's around because that, you know, gives the two titles a little more credibility? We'll see. Nevertheless, great performance, great win. He is coming into his own. He is very entertaining. He's very charismatic. I love the cringy stuff. I think it's a lot of fun. And so that was notable. Valentina Shevchenko, her vicious knockout of Jessica Ai. That was notable. I have a hard time seeing anyone at 125 challenging her anytime soon. I've been wrong before, but wow, it seems like she is fighting at a different level. It seems like she is sort of what DJ was a couple years ago, but I would actually argue the gap is bigger between Valentina and the rest of the contenders at 125 and what DJ was dealing with at 125. And of course, Tony Ferguson with the win over Donald Cerrone, blew his nose, eye swells up. It was a bit of a gruesome affair, but a great win for Tony. Started off a little slow. He was really pouring it on in the second round, and I thought it was starting to look elementary that he would either stop him or at least get the victory in the third round. A great win. It's great to have El Kukui back. Now let's get him a title shot. All right, let's talk about who is joining us on today's show, because like I said, we've got a lot to get to, and I want to get to our first guest of the day because it's very exciting. We've got an in-studio guest, and it's a dear friend. It's a colleague. Dare I say it's a partner. He's got a big week ahead of him. But first, let me tell you about the lineup. The aforementioned Henry Cejudo will be joining us at around 3:50 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, the king of cringe, the man who holds all the gold, the triple C, the triple champ. He will be here. Yes, I am looking forward to that. It's going to be great. Also, we'll be joined later on in the program by that woman, Katlyn Chookagian. She defeated Joanne Calderwood in the quote-unquote curtain jerker. Is she the number one contender at 125 pounds? We'll get blonde fighters' thoughts on it all. We'll also be joined by Aljamain Sterling, who had a big win on Saturday over Pedro Munoz. And I wonder now if he's the number one contender at 135 pounds. So who do I think is a little banged up? So I wouldn't be surprised if Sterling and Piotr Jan, who also had a big win on Saturday, have to meet. But for now, it's a good time to be Aljamain Sterling. We'll also talk to that man, Mark Henry. I don't have the list in front of me, so I'm sort of relying on the pictures in this particular case. He's the head coach of Marlon Moraes, and we'll get his thoughts on the fight, what went wrong, and then, of course, the Frankie Edgar title fight coming up in late July. in Edmonton. Prior to Mark Henry, we'll be joined by that man, Calvin Kattar, who had a big win over Ricardo Lamas, walked into enemy territory, had a nice victory, a stoppage win in Chicago against Ricardo Lamas. First time that Calvin Kattar is on the program. And in fact, one of his teammates came up to me before the fight and said, "You better have Calvin on if he wins on Saturday." And I said, "I will." And here I am, a man of my word. King Mo Lawal retired while we were on the air last week, and I've always loved talking to King Mo, one of the smartest men in the game, and so I'm happy to have him on this week. We'll talk about the retirement and where he goes from here. Also, Michelle Waterson was in the news on Saturday night. Dana White saying she is not in the discussion to fight for the belt next. I'm a little surprised by all of that. We'll get her thoughts on all of that and see what's next for her and what she thought of Tatiana Suarez and all that stuff. Cris Cyborg has a fight against Felicia Spencer, and it appears as though she might be reaching the end of her road at the UFC. We'll get her thoughts. She just tweeted something very interesting about Dana White's comments about her not wanting to fight Amanda Nunes. Check that out. I retweeted it. So I'm looking forward to talking to Cris Cyborg. But first, where is my old friend Chael P? Is he making his weight? Is he making a grand entrance? He is going to join us, I do believe, in a matter of seconds in our studio. He wasn't in Chicago. He was getting ready for his fight Friday night at Madison Square Garden, Bellator 222. Yes, Chael, please. I don't mean to... oh, look at this. What do we have, Chael? What? This is unbelievable. Cupcakes for me?
Cupcakes for you with a number 1 for congratulations.
1 year anniversary?
1 year anniversary. Huh? A hug?
Oh, thank you, buddy. Hold it just a little longer. Oh, yeah. Wow, was this your idea?
Well, yes, my idea. If you call me Leah Almendia, yes.
Absolutely. Let me tell you something about
wait a minute. Wait a minute. We have a piece of theater. We're not done.
Oh, my God.
So there's for the 1 year anniversary.
Yes. 10 years. This show... You guys are so
and there's
thoughtful.
For the 10 years in the business.
Leah,
congrats, buddy.
I love you. Thank you, guys. Leah's the best. Top 5 human beings I've ever met in my life.
That's fair.
Yeah?
Very fair.
Yeah, top 5. Wow, look at this. My show is 10 years old this month. 1 year anniversary of my move here at ESPN. Joining forces with you.
Boom.
We built ESPN Plus.
On our backs.
On our backs with our hands. Now everyone's patting. They're doing the old Barry Horowitz.
Hey, you got was that an argument you were in with the ESPN?
Yes.
What's it?
Well, I'm sick of not getting the respect that we deserve.
But I mean, after that, how did that?
I told him to take a hike.
No way.
I told him that I'd bury him where he stands.
Oh, come on.
I told him to take his phone and...
because his body language, I didn't know if he
Kenny Mayne
got it.
Kenny Mayne,
yeah,
he's very dry.
Yes,
he's a jokester.
I'm saying, but did he get it?
I think he got it.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't talk to him after?
No, I didn't.
So we don't know for sure he got it.
It's a shoot. When you shoot, you don't ask after the fact.
That's right.
Was that cool with you?
No apologies.
Actually, a lot of people in the comments when I posted that said Chael would be proud.
Yeah, I was.
Were you proud?
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
But I was reading his body language going, I'm not sure Kenny appreciates this.
Yeah. We'll see if I'm on again.
We'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. No one knows. This is very nice. Thank you. You brought this up from New York for me?
That's right.
Wow.
Chocolate and vanilla.
Really? Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Well, thank you. It's been a great year.
Glenn said if it wasn't weigh-in week for me, that we would have a contest, you and I right now, to see who could eat more.
I would absolutely do it.
I used to have a cat named Cupcake. I like cupcakes.
Okay. That was your thing. You and Misha Tate.
She likes it. Yeah, well, I get her nickname, right?
How much do you weigh?
219.
219.
Yes.
So after a couple fights at heavyweight, is it tough making the cut?
Well, it is different. Yeah, it is different. I prefer it. I prefer it in that it builds an extra mechanism of discipline.
Okay.
Forces you to get that extra run or forces you to eat a little healthy. You lose that discipline at heavyweight, or at least I did. But I also was faced with I don't want to be too small. That's in theory, but at the same time, if I get too big, I can't move.
Right.
So it's this weird balancing act with no way to find out until you weigh in and then go compete and see how you feel. So
you're also
205,
fighting,
at least I know what I'm getting into.
But you're also fighting a smaller 205er, right?
In Machida?
Yeah.
I think that's right, yeah.
So it's probably in your best interest to try to be as slim. You need to be fast with Machida,
that's right.
Correct? You don't want to be big. It's not like you're fighting Rampage at 205.
Sure.
Different levels of 205.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah. And he moves well at both. I mean, he was world champion at 205.
Yes.
But he's a top contender at 85.
Right.
So he's one of those guys. Yeah, right in that weight class is pretty good for him.
So I had you in studio when you talked about, you just got the fight. It was just announced, and you said, you want to do this for Randy. He kicked his tooth out, all that stuff and more. Now that we're 5 days before the fight, how do you feel about the fight? You still have that level of motivation, like the revenge? You want to get the revenge, or have the feelings changed?
No, that's exactly where I'm at. However, that will change, in fairness. That changes, each day as the fight gets a little closer. And you stop thinking about those things and just start to really focus on yourself. And eventually it'll be the weigh-in, and then you recover and get a good night's sleep, and then it's about the warm up and walk it out and performing. So that will change, but Yeah, I think you're right.
Do you like this whole process? Do you enjoy this?
Yeah.
Now that you know that at one point it's going to come to an end, do you find yourself appreciating it more?
More, yes.
You look around, you smell the roses?
I have many regrets in my career, but my biggest regret is I've never enjoyed it. I've never enjoyed a single, not one of the trips or the venue or but I think that is wrong. I wish I would have enjoyed it. I wish I would have taken it and realized that, I don't have to do this. I get to do this and I want to do this. But it never seemed like that. It was always a very stressful environment. And
have you started to enjoy it a little more?
One town to the next. I'm trying to. I've at least identified that, and I'm trying to.
When did that happen? Like the identification that I need to start actually appreciating this because it's going to come to an end at some point.
Ultimate Fighter 3 Brazil. And I was with the other coaches, and we all talked about that.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of the requirements I had of the coaching staff. When we got the schedule, I said, everybody come on, mark 2 days that you're taking off. You're going to take off, you're going to go see Brazil, you're going to go enjoy some food, some relaxation, the sunshine, whatever it could be. But let's enjoy this. We've never had any fun. It's just been work. Even if it's only 2 days, but everybody enjoy this in some point.
All right, so you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
And what a way to start your week.
Say again?
What a way to start your week.
Yeah.
I mean, here with us.
Here we are.
Bristol, Connecticut.
Yes.
I missed you this weekend.
I missed you. Hey, what a great card.
It was a great card,
Where
but
do you
it
want to
wasn't the
start?
same without you.
Thank you for that.
No, it feels a little empty. I was talking with Charlie. Charlie, our fearless producer on the road, enjoyed his 49th birthday this past. Did you text him?
Nope.
You're big on birthdays.
Didn't know.
That's
doggone it. What day?
That's a loss on your part. Thursday night.
Oh, now I'm really late.
Yes, really late.
Right.
And plus, I just said it on the air. And
I'm going to take a shot at it, though.
Okay, fair enough. Just pretend like this never happened and that he doesn't watch the show. But I was telling him it's a little empty without you, and so I'm happy now that you told me before we started you did watch.
Yeah, of course.
You watched the whole thing.
Loved it.
I spoke to Henry Cejudo on the phone as I was driving from where I live to Bristol, and he said, "What did Chael think? What did Chael think?" I was like, Chael's opinion really matters to you, Henry. He's like, yes, it really matters to me. I want to know what he thought of it all. And so I'll ask you, what did you think of it all?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So I two thoughts. First, from the entertainer aspect of it, which is look, he saved the flyweights. I realize this wasn't a flyweight fight, but he is the flyweight champion. It's relevant to bring up. From the entertainer standpoint, there was something to see all week. Every time Henry went out there, it didn't matter even if he was throwing out the first pitch in that baseball game. There was something to see there in the crowd. They didn't even know who they were booing him. He's out there in a costume. It was wonderful. And the thing about Henry that I'm appreciating as a viewer who wants to be entertained is how confident he is in the stuff that he's doing and how much fun he is having. I can see he is having fun. So even if somebody wanted to tease him and say the crown is silly or whatever it may be, it's working. It just is. It's just working. There's something to see there. Then as you look at the fight, my goodness, Ariel, come on. I mean, I'll remind you again, to compare the entertainer with the athlete, because it is a combination of the two. When Mayweather started doing the money thing, he's throwing the money, everybody, they hated it. It was cringeworthy. It made everybody uncomfortable. Now they call him Money Mayweather. They want to see it. If you're having success and you're winning, and that's where Cejudo's at, you can get away with a lot of things that other people couldn't get away with. I think he's doing everything right.
Did you pick him going into the fight?
I did pick him, yeah.
Okay, did you think it would go like that? Because I thought he was losing the first round.
Oh, he lost the first round.
Okay.
Yeah, he made adjustments. And I think, he might have deserved to lose the first round. He came out in a little bit different stance than I had seen before. His chin was up a little bit more. His range wasn't great against Marlon, who was throwing leg kicks as opposed to punches. But that also ends up being a credit for Henry. He made that adjustment. It all started when he threw that cross and it landed, and then he throws a second cross. To talk about the physical side of it, Mayweather used to throw double crosses, and that was shocking that you could land two with no jab in between, no distractions, just crosses. He was so fast he got away with it. Henry threw, and if you go back and watch, you'll see him right. He threw 6 crosses that were unanswered and no setup in between. No jab, no kick. Cross, slipped one time, cross. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that's really when he changed it. He got him in that tie clinch. He was delivering the knees. I thought that Marlon deserved a lot of credit there, too, by the way. When he was getting kneed in the face, Anderson Silva, Rich Franklin style, came right out of it and started fighting again.
Yeah.
I was confused how Marlon, as good of a stand-up fighter as he is, was lost in that position, though. I was confused how he was lost, and it did remind me of Rich Franklin, who was great versus Anderson Silva, but Anderson found that one position that, for whatever reason, Rich didn't know how to deal with. And Marlon was the same way.
Yeah, it seemed like
he just took those knees.
He got really tired, though, right?
Yeah.
He seemed like he was gassing out a little bit, but it was an amazing fight, entertaining as heck. I have so much respect for Henry, and I wonder, he's really good at 135. I don't know if I'm Henry, what do you do? Why would you go down to 125 if you're now the champ at 135? I know it's a great gimmick to have the 2 titles, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense, right?
I think that's right. And it would come down, in my estimation, I think you would agree with me, whatever the bigger fight was.
Right.
Whoever steps forward at 125, if they get more attention than 135, and I do think that it is important to Henry to be the first guy to then defend the belt.
Right.
But you do make a fair point. It is a very hard thing to do. If, in fact, he saved the flyweights as we've been told, then he's going to have to go back.
What about
the question
145?
does become against who? Hey, 145, as silly as that may sound, don't forget, Ariel, we teased him when he first said that, which was the night he beat Dillashaw. We teased him when he said, you don't tease him now. All of a sudden, you got to listen to the guy. When he won the Olympics, and he never brings this up about himself, he needs to tell the people this. He won the Olympics at a different weight. Some people think that was at 125 or 130. No, he won that at 121. And then he won the 125 world. Then he won the 135-pound world. So if he says he wants to go to 145, who can stay? He can't now. You can debate whether he'd win or not, but you can't say he doesn't have the right to make the claim.
And can you imagine if Frankie Edgar beats Max Holloway? I mean, that's not a massive size difference, right?
Sure.
Frankie's not that much bigger than him.
Sure.
So I think it's definitely doable. His claim that he's the greatest combat sports athlete of all time, what do you make of it?
Hard to disagree with.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know that I would co-sign the statement. I tend to lean towards George St. Pierre. I tend to look then to John Jones. You can't just dismiss the statement, though. 2 different sports and 3 different weight classes. You can't simply just do this. He does need a little bit more time. And I think over time, if you want to talk about this, I think over time, history could go against John Jones. And I say that in this regard. The sport is now leaning toward, both Scott Coker and Dana White, so the sport is leaning towards these champ opportunities and different weight classes and commingling guys and creating this kind of parity. If John, as great as he is at light heavyweight, and I'm already starting to see the dialogue from John's the greatest fighter ever to John is the greatest light heavyweight. I'm already starting to hear these kinds of things. Yeah. Over time, if he doesn't spread it to another weight, and he's in a bit of a jam, I think this is unfair. John is the perfect size for 205. He's too big for 185. He arguably is too small for heavy. He's at the perfect size. It's not his fault. I bring his name up because it's one that I know you'll recognize, and over time, I think that it could affect his legacy.
Okay, and so, all right, so what about, so he's 135, 125 Olympic gold medalist. You also, I mean, you can also talk about some boxers in there, because when you say combat sports, you were just mentioning MMA fighters.
Sure.
But like, you can throw in Sugar Ray Robinson and Jake LaMotta and Muhammad Ali, anyone you want, right? It gets a little tricky then. That's why I agree with you. I can't actually say it. I don't feel comfortable saying it, but I don't want to argue it as well.
Right.
You know, like he could run with it, and I have no problem with that.
That's the thing.
I just don't want to say it myself.
When he said it, again, back up to, was it January 19th in Brooklyn
Good
when
memory.
he beat Dillashaw. Thank you for that. And he made the claim, it was a little, come on, you know, but it is now hard to say that what's he got to do? I mean, I know the answers. He's got to have more opportunities and fight more guys and defend more belts. I get all of it, but he is spreading around that hardware, and it's not a ridiculous claim anymore. It's one you might disagree with, but it's not one you can tease him for, which, as early as January, he did get teased for it.
He really wanted to know if you felt like his delivery was on point, like the whole package. You know that thing where he does where he's like breathing and he's looking into the camera and all that stuff. I know you talked about the props, but it feels very comfortable. It doesn't feel forced, correct?
Yes.
I know the cringe stuff is part of the gimmick, but to me it's not cringy. To me it's really entertaining. I really enjoy Henry Cejudo.
Particularly because he is having fun with it. You can tell he is not uncomfortable. You've seen guys go out there, when you want to talk about the delivery and the entertainment aspect, you've seen guys go out there with a pocketed statement and they come out and deliver it like the cat that ate the canary, and they've got this great look on their face and the crowd has no idea what they're talking about, and then they get embarrassed, which you would. He doesn't get embarrassed. He's so comfortable in his own skin. I think that's one of the really great things about it. And as far as his delivery, it was wonderful. And I like that he stopped Joe Rogan before they faded to black and rolled the credits. So wait a minute. I want to call some guys out, and I want to do it by name. Yeah. Very smart to do.
Amazing.
All of a sudden, once he says Dominic, you think Dominic's not going to respond to that? He says Cody Garbrandt. You think Cody's not going to respond? Of course these guys are going to respond. Let's get it going.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do that, you and I didn't just spend 10 minutes talking about it. We just didn't.
Right.
We brushed it off and went to the Bullet's head kick, or we brushed it off and started talking other things on the card.
Right.
He has now forced the dialogue to go on. He won.
Okay, let me ask you about Tony Ferguson. Has that ever happened to you before? What happened to Cerrone?
Hit after the bell?
No, blow your nose.
No, I've heard about that. And you know what? It's hard for me to know that that's true. And I think when I put myself in his shoes, I blow my nose.
Yeah.
I mean, if you feel like you got to breathe and you only got 2 ways to do it, and one of them's clogged, you try to clear it. It makes sense to me.
It was crazy to see how he was freaking out and trying to push it down. And I think he actually would have fought. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that Cerrone would have continued, correct?
Of course.
But it was the right call.
For sure.
Do you have any issue with the punch after the bell?
I do, in that it was blatantly late.
Okay.
For sure.
Intentional?
In fact, there was 2. Perhaps. Perhaps it was. That's only in the heart of Tony, and we'll probably never know the answer to that. It was blatantly late. However, there is a rule that you stop on the referee, not on the bell. Now, I'm starting to get into the technical aspects of it as to why the commission allowed the referee to issue a warning as opposed to point, as why it went to a TKO favoring Tony as opposed to a disqualification hurting Tony. And that is a very real thing. He does not have to stop on the bell. That's true. He has to stop on the referee.
Okay, so you had no problem with that. What do you think?
No, I had a problem with it. I mean, I will acknowledge that.
Really?
I will acknowledge it was a little bit late.
You think it should have been a DQ?
I think there's a fair conversation.
Really?
If I had to choose one now, even with the benefit of hindsight, which the commission and the referee, of course, did not have, I still think Mergliotti did get it right, and I would go in that favor. Okay. I didn't love the reasoning. I didn't love the reasoning behind it is what I had more of a problem with, which is the late punch landed here, and the effects of the eye were over here, and therefore the late punch didn't affect the eye, and we stopped the fight because of it. I didn't love that. Whether it's right or wrong, I didn't love that. But I do think a warning likely was appropriate.
What did you make of his performance overall?
Incredible.
Really?
Tony Ferg, incredible. Both of them. Right. Cowboy won the first round.
Right, he did.
You've seen Tony lose the first, kind of a little bit of a slow start before he gets that pace going. But to lose an entire round is a very rare thing. I thought that Cowboy fought great, and I also think he deserves credit in the second round for those takedowns. One of them was super close. One of them actually was effective. He only held him there for a few seconds, but he got the former national champion down. I thought it was a very good fight. It was trending in Tony's direction, though, and it was largely just because of that pace. And Cowboy said that before the fight. He said, look, I don't think he's Mr. Technical stand-up fighter, but boy, he'll throw a lot of shots at you. That's true.
If the UFC says to him right now, all right, you're the man, 12 in a row, you haven't lost since 2012, you can wait for the winner of Khabib Poirier, or you can have Conor. Which are you taking?
Conor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, since you brought that up. Tony Ferguson is the only guy in all of MMA that I could name for you right now that has 5 opponents that he could fight any one of those 5, be a main event, and be box officeable.
Who are they?
Box officeable. Is that boxable?
You said it with enough confidence.
Box officeable.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's just go through it. You named 2 of them. Sure, he could go into Khabib. He could go into Poirier. Of course, he could go into Conor. Who can't? I get it. He could go into Nate Diaz. Let me throw a name at you, though. You're going to love this matchup if you could get this. Tony Ferguson.
Justin Gaethje.
Boom.
I knew you were going to say that.
But that works.
Yeah.
It works, and particularly, this will surprise, in 3 rounds. It's a more compelling fight if it's scheduled for 3 rounds than it was for 5.
Why?
Because now all of a sudden you take a little bit of that pace away from Tony Ferg. You take a little bit of that wear that Gaethje's known for taking by choice. He prefers to be in a fist fight than to go out there and just use his best skills. And I just think in 15 minutes, you would have something so incredibly special. Could still over 25. I would almost guarantee you would in 15. It wouldn't be scheduled for that. That's a main event in any arena that they play. So it would be 5 rounds.
Right.
But I think it's a fun discussion point, and I think I'm right.
Okay, but now predict what actually happens, because his path has been so unpredictable, right?
Sure.
Who wins 12 in a row and doesn't get a title shot? Doesn't sniff a title shot, right? Who hasn't lost in 7 years and doesn't get a title shot? What do you think actually happens?
Well, I don't believe that he will fight Conor next for multiple reasons, but I just don't think that he will have Conor next. Then it does come the question, and I'm thinking out loud here. I didn't know you were going to ask, so I'm just processing it out loud.
Any of this
That's
stuff.
right, but so Conor can kind of do what he wants, kind of do whatever he would like to do, and that's even been stated. And the fellow athletes are even said, well, we got to see what Conor decides to do. So if he decides to go into a match with Khabib, that's likely going to halt Tony for a little bit. And that, of course, is being very presumptuous that Khabib gets over Poirier, which is a hard fight. He's favored to do so. As I talk to you, just looking in lines that he does, or that fight got interrupted somehow, I think it would likely be Conor. I don't know if you're going to get Conor back against anybody besides Khabib.
Really?
I just don't know that you are. Huh?
Nate?
Yeah, I stand corrected. He would come back for Nate. I mean, they have to do that at some point, even according to Conor.
Right.
Conor lives his life by a code, and you may disagree or you may agree with his code, but he lives it by a code, and he does respect the architecture and the history of combat sports and mixed martial arts specifically, and he understands that when you split in 2, you go to the rubber match. He understands that. He stated it many times on the record.
Where did you watch the fight?
I watched it from my house.
Are you watching by yourself?
No, I had Joel and Ladd over.
Who's that?
You ever met Joel and Ladd?
That jabroni that you do your show with?
Yes.
Okay.
Him.
That's
yes.
right. So
yes.
he comes over and watches with you?
Yeah, he comes over.
Wow.
He didn't want to order the pay-per-view.
Wow.
$60.
Really? $60?
Yeah. Well, he's living at his ex-wife's house right now, so she would get the bill, and then he'd be caught, and she told him he couldn't order it, so he came over.
Oh, my gosh. So he makes you pay for it.
Yes.
Do you need water?
It's a lot of information. No, I think
Okay.
I've been talking too fast.
All right. Well,
No
you're
water.
excited to
Maybe
be
one
here.
of those cupcakes. I am excited.
Would you like a cupcake?
No.
Okay.
I'm overweight.
Are you?
219 this morning.
Is
I
that
got
bad?
13 pounds to go. No, that is not a hard weight cut, but it would warrant not having a cupcake.
Cupcake. Yeah, that's probably not.
Hard to be 13 pounds over and then have a cupcake.
I'm probably like 20 pounds over. New York Commission. Any issues with it?
No.
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 Do you really not like fighting in New York, or is that just a thing that you say?
Nah, it's probably a little bit more of a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget the first time I had
MSG.
started it, I had never even fought in New York. How could I say I don't want to fight in New York if I'd never even done it, right? No, I was having a little bit of fun with the city, right? Cheap heat.
Right.
Cheap heat
Why
doesn't
not?
take any sophistication, but
Right.
yeah, I don't have any issue with the commission. I know they've had a couple of headaches over the years,
Right.
but they're really silly ones. I think in many ways they were falsely accused.
This is an incredible thing. I don't know if you realize this.
Excuse me. The opportunity to have water.
Yes.
Do you have
Yes,
water?
Please. It's right here. I'll give you a fresh bottle just
Thank
for
you, Helwani.
You see, I'm not that bad of a guy after all. Did you miss, like when you're watching the show with your friend, the Jabron, I've never met him, but I feel like you enjoy when I call him that.
Of course.
You're like, I wish I'd be watching this with Ariel. I wish I was. Does a part of you feel that way?
Very much so.
Yeah. So you went to 229, which was a week before your fight against Fyodor.
Yeah.
Why didn't you go to this one?
This one was just a little bit different because they brought us in so early to New York. Today's Monday, by example.
right.
I arrived Sunday so that I could be here in Bristol. Don't forget, I'm staying in New York, a couple hours away, 2.5 hour drive. So logistically, it was just a little hard.
Okay.
This has never happened to me.
What?
I've never been on a set and then I got this cough and needed
want
water.
more water?
I see other people always with their drinks and their water. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Your throat gets parched? You
Right.
can't just... It's happening to me.
Do you want more water?
No.
I think maybe the gum is your undoing.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm a
typically
little
people-
embarrassed about it, quite frankly.
People don't usually
I'm a little
chew gum
uneasy.
while on the air.
Cutting a little bit of weight. Mouth gets dry. It's just part of the process. I'm fine
Oh,
with.
is that
Yeah.
true? Is that a thing that you
Yeah.
do? Okay. How many more do you got left in you? Because I feel like
How many
there's
more fights?
there's people who are trying to say, like, if you don't win this one, this could be
Sure.
it. That's not a thing, right?
Oh, well, in fairness to them, yeah. Yeah, I think that is a little bit of a thing. I don't imagine this would be my last fight under any scenario. That isn't what I'm proposing. But yeah, I think that's fair to always look at a match and say, hey, if a guy doesn't get over the hump. Yeah, I think that's a very real thing. And I've been hearing it for about 10 years. It isn't a new thing for me to hear. But I wouldn't discredit for somebody for following my career and pointing that out.
How many fights left on your deal with Bellator?
On my deal with Bellator, let's see. I'm not sure that I even have this one. I've never reflected back on that deal, but to my understanding, it was a 4-fight deal, and I've done 4 fights.
What?
I've never even been offered Machida, by the way.
Still? Till this day?
I've told you
said
that story.
last time.
Not
Yeah.
only was I never offered, I've never accepted Machida. I was never offered Machida. You reported on ESPN.com that I will be fighting Machida, and here I am.
No bout agreement?
There's got to be one somewhere.
You have not signed
I would have to talk to Leah.
Really?
If I haven't signed it, we'll sign it at the weigh-ins.
Do you
They don't have to get worried. If Bellator's what, they don't have to get worried about old Chael.
Right.
Old Chael's a company man. I'll be here to fight. But if you ask me about the contract, I'd have to
you
go look.
ever actually gone through the fight without signing the bout agreement?
About agreement, I don't think so. The only other fight that I've had that I never agreed to because I was never offered it, still to this day, was Shogun. Never even been offered that fight. But the commission handles bout agreements, to my understanding.
Really?
Bout agreement is different than a contract with, say, Bellator. And so I believe before you can even get on the scale, you sign a bout agreement. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I'm quite
I didn't know
sure.
that. I thought it was.
If you don't sign it right then, they will at least check to make sure it's signed.
Okay.
Is my understanding.
So technically, you're saying you have actually fulfilled the obligations on your contract.
Yes.
So they could say, we need to or maybe you should say, we need to renegotiate our deal after this.
They could say, here's your hat, what's your hurry?
Yeah.
Be out of the Chael business. And there's nothing I could do
Does
about
this worry you?
it. No, I don't know that I was worried about it. I don't think I ever thought about it until you just asked me the
How do you
question.
not think about this?
You just asked me the question right now. I don't know.
You don't worry about this
There
stuff?
seems like there's always somebody that needs beat up, right?
Right.
It seems like I have a moral obligation to continue this, but I don't know. I don't know how that.
I mean, they're happy
works.
with you.
Well, I mean,
I would imagine. You're the only guy
course.
who's on every show. It's amazing. It's like sometimes I see
Ace
you
in
on
the
the Bellator
hole.
show. It's amazing.
Who wouldn't be happy with old Chael?
How
Chael
did you
takes
do
care
it?
of his business.
I know. Everyone loves being in
count on
business with you.
Chael?
Yeah. It's just an amazing story. Like, you're the only one who crosses all the promotional boundaries.
Well, that's very nice of you. You want to know who did? I get a lot of credit for them, and it's a tremendous compliment. But you want to know who did it first and doesn't get credit was Gilbert Melendez. Remember when he was working at Fox?
That's right.
Covering the UFC, and then he come over here to ESPN, and he'd talk about the PFL and the belt. But Gilbert was actually the first.
Okay, fair enough.
I get the credit, but it's false. It's Gilbert's.
I appreciate you. I was with Michael Bisping on Saturday. He was sort of taking.
Do you think I should be worried that I don't have a contract with? But now you've got me spinning on that a little bit. I mean, is that something I should bring up?
Scott Coker and Mike Hogan are upstanding individuals.
I do too.
Yeah. So
as far as I'm concerned, I do.
I don't think they're going to screw you like Vince.
No, they
Brett
don't screw anybody.
Back in the day, remember?
Brett screwed Brett. Vince did the right thing.
Could you imagine if Coker does an interview the following week with Goldie or Morrow, and he talks about how Chael screwed Chael?
Yeah.
And how you didn't have a contract, it was your fault, and you're not a good businessman?
That'd be great.
Coker turns heel?
Why would Brett even think you could leave one night later, be on WCW, what he's going to take? He's just going to leave the belt here. You guys go figure it out? That's ridiculous. Just because they were in Montreal? It doesn't work that way, Brett. Brett screwed Brett. Vince made the right call.
You stand by this?
100%.
Really? Did you
100%.
Did you see the documentary Wrestling with Shadows?
Yes.
You saw it?
Yes.
I thought that they had a deal and he reneged on the deal.
Brett did.
No.
Vince.
They
had a verbal deal, but he had no other opportunity. The Survivor Series was it Survivor Series?
Yeah, 1997.
It was booked. Everything was booked. The tickets were on sale, and all of a sudden the booker comes in and says, "Brett, you're putting Sean over," and Brett goes, "Not in Montreal, I'm not." So, well, the show happens to be in Montreal, Brett, and your contract is done the second you exit that ring.
But didn't he offer?
Brett says, "I won't go there and do it."
Didn't he offer to extend it? He said, "Look, we'll do a draw, we'll do a big thing, and then the next night in Detroit or wherever they were, I'll lose to him there. I just don't want to lose in Canada."
No, it was just the opposite. He said he would do it prior to that, because don't forget the Survivor Series was on a Sunday. That's when they do their pay-per-views, and don't forget that Nitro was on Monday. No, the very next day, Brett was in Atlanta.
Is that true?
Yes, he walked out in Atlanta.
Really?
Yes.
The next day?
Yeah, so there was no time to do that.
You know what's one of my great...
Brett had thrown several suggestions forward, and the team's going, but it doesn't work that way.
Wow, so you're anti-Brett.
I'm not anti-Brett, just in this particular case, Vince did what was right. That would not have been right to the rest of the boys or even to the audience for him to let Brett go to Atlanta as champion.
Do you think he really knocked him out? Or was that a work?
No, and that was one thing that bothered me with Wrestling with Shadows, because that's where they changed the story. Now, either the story was not told accurately. The first time a Wrestling with Shadows got it wrong, but the story has never been told that way. Now, let me tell you where this is off. And this footage is even out there on YouTube when Brett goes into the office with Vince, throws the punch. There was multiple people in that office, including Shane. And that was one of Vince's biggest problems with what Brett did. He's like, "Look, I understand how we handle things when there's a screwjob. I understand that you and I were going to have a moment, but you hit me in front of my son, and I let you do it. And I won't let you do it again." That was a very real thing. Vince had the black eye, and there's even a camera on that when Brett comes out in the pink and black, and then Vince comes out, and Shane comes out, and I think it was Pat Patterson in the room with him. I'd have to go rewatch. When Wrestling with Shadows did it, it was Brett was getting ready to shower, and Vince came in, and it was just the two of them. So somewhere, somebody got this off, which Scott Hall picked up on, and Scott Hall said the whole thing's a work.
Wow.
They're working. Look at these details that constantly change. Brett was in on it from the beginning.
Get out of here.
Now, I think Scott Hall is wrong.
Okay.
But this is Scott Hall. This is what he has proclaimed.
Right. You know, that's my great claim to fame. I was in attendance that night.
No, really?
I went there, yeah.
Wow.
I was in Montreal. I was a student at the time in high school, and I had no idea what was going on. And I saw him smash the TV monitors afterwards and do the WCW, and then I went home on the internet and read all about it.
Sure.
I wasn't a smart back then.
Sure.
You know?
And that's one of another thing that Scott Hall brought up was that WCW. He goes, "Look, I'm just telling you, in the heat of the moment and that tired and that fatigue and everything going on, you would not think to look, turn, know where the camera was and do that." He goes, "Brett was in on it." I don't agree with him. I do not think it was right. I'm sharing the story, though. And since this whole thing is a big conspiracy, it's fun to look at it from all angles.
Sure.
And that's Scott Hall's intention.
I have no idea how we even got on this topic, if I'm being honest, but I'm enjoying it thoroughly. Did you watch AEW?
Oh, because you just informed me that I don't have a contract with Bellator.
That's right.
Now you got my mind spinning. That's what happened.
Did you watch AEW?
Yeah, I did watch it.
Really?
I tuned in just after the Battle Royal, which I heard opened the show, and I heard
you ordered it?
Garbage. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I thought it was very good.
Really?
And I also like, that's a star-driven business, much like what Vince is doing with the Saudis right now, where he's just got to bring in the biggest names. It seemed like everybody that was a free agent in the world made an appearance of some regard.
Yeah. Why didn't you ever try doing that?
Professional wrestling, I considered doing that.
When?
I was a sophomore in college. I actually went out to the WCW. It was called the Power Plant at the time, which was a training.
it was
you had to do
Sarge?
a tryout. Sarge was there.
Yeah.
He worked. I was a college All-American Division I that year.
Okay.
And I made it through. I barely made it through.
How many days?
All you had to do is kind of like Navy SEAL. As soon as you've had enough, say you've had enough, leave and don't come back. And the very first day, the room was packed. By the end of the first day, there was only 3 of us left. And those 3, 2 of us made it to the final day.
Who are the 3? Do you?
No,
you?
neither one of them ended up making it. I didn't go into it.
Wait, so that's after one day.
After one day, everyone was gone but 3 of us.
Okay.
After the second day, we all made it through the second day. Nobody got kicked out. Nobody quit. But on the third day, one guy did not come back. He was a cop. He told us that. He said, guys, I think I'm at the end of I can't move.
Okay, so then there's 2.
And then we encouraged, hey, you'll be here, sleep it off. So he said, guys, I really don't think I'm going to come back. And he didn't. And it was me and a gentleman from Jamaica.
Okay.
And they worked us so hard. It was so hard.
And then what happened?
I was in all of, I'm telling you, I barely made it through this thing. It was so hard. And then that was, okay, so then I returned to the University of Oregon. I did my 2 more years. And my senior year, they went out of business. I got invited back. Yeah, I made it through the tryout. But if you make it through the tryout, all that gets you is the interview, which they can then invite you or not invite you. I don't know what happened with the other gentleman. I got invited.
Okay.
But they also thought I was way too small. They put me on a scale. I weighed 197 pounds. They thought I was lying about my weight. They thought I was smaller, so then they put me on a scale. And they said, hey, man, you got to be a high flyer. You got to do, and that's what they were doing in the 90s. And that's not what I want to do. I don't want to do a luchador, but they were trying to get over this cruiserweight class and some other things like that. That was a little disheartening to me, but that was my extent.
Do you think if they didn't go out of business, so this is around 2000, right?
Yeah.
That you would have actually gone down that path instead of MMA?
Instead of MMA, I can't remember back then at that time, but yeah, I think that was my plan to go and do that at one point. Now, I wanted to do MMA. Yeah, it was just it was really hard to break into the business. I was already doing MMA. I had my first fight in 1997. I had my first fight before I ever even went to the power plant. But to break into the business was so difficult. And in fairness, it wasn't much of a business back then. It was a great sport, and many of us loved it. But this is for the sanctioning and the commissions. This is before any television deal. This is largely in the dark ages, as you'll remember, of the UFC. Bellator wasn't even a name back then. WEC, Pride wasn't a name. And don't forget, Dana White didn't get involved until 2001. This is 1997. Tougher thing. So yeah, I could have gone the path of wrestling.
Did you try out for WWF? Did you talk to them?
No, I talked to them. I talked to them one time. I could share that a little bit privately with you. It was just before I fought.
It's just amongst friends here,
All right, you won't tell anyone?
No.
I share. It was just before I fought Anderson Silva, and it was basically a offer.
Oh, this?
A no call, no show. Yeah.
This is 10 years later.
Yeah. Well, you asked me, did I ever talk to them?
No, I meant like when you were a youngster.
No, I didn't know how to. My only contact to the WWE back then, and don't forget the internet was just coming out back then. Nobody had cell phone. There was no Twitter, social media. Facebook wasn't even a word. I mean, don't forget the time that we were in. My only contact to the business back then was Rowdy Piper. And I didn't know him, but I knew Matt Lindland and Matt knew him.
Okay.
So it was hard. I didn't even know how to get in contact with them.
Wait a second.
Now, my dad would have figured it out. We'd have probably got on a plane and just shown up at Titan Tower and tried to get in. I mean, we'd have figured it out, but no, I didn't know how.
I don't think I've ever talked to you about the other thing you mentioned. Was that prior to 117 or 148?
The second one. That'd be 148.
That's a real thing? Mm-hmm. Legit?
100%.
You're not working me?
No.
Someone called you and asked you not to show?
No call, no show. What? You cannot call, and you can't show. I got 2 offers. Or the second one was do show and beat him and be on Raw with the belt on Monday.
No way.
Yeah.
This is insane.
And that was a much bigger offer.
But you had to win the fight.
Yeah, and I said
who called?
I can't tell you.
Really?
I can't tell you the whole story except that.
Okay, go ahead, fine.
He said, I said, why would they want that?
Yeah.
Why would they want that? And he said, he paused and he said to stick it up Dana White's ass.
What?
And I said, okay.
And then what?
Nothing. I didn't tell Dana. I never did anything with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you consider it?
No.
For a second?
Not even a second.
Millisecond?
No.
Why?
Absolutely.
How much money are we talking about?
7 figures.
7 figures?
Yeah.
But why?
I'll tell you straight up, it was $1 million to no call, no show. It was $5 million to be on Raw with the belt. That was a number. That's not a secret.
So
I can tell you the whole story now, can't I? It's been a long enough time.
This is amazing.
I just can't tell you who called.
Have you ever told the whole story?
That's the whole story. The only part I'm leaving out is who called.
Okay. And why are you protecting him?
Well, I feel like that's...
Does his name rhyme with...
Please don't, because I'm sure it does. I don't know many people there. Please don't. It wasn't Vince, but I will tell you this is...
Where... Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it was not something that I would have even remotely considered. I wanted the championship. I wanted to fight Anderson.
Yeah, but if you would have won, you get the belt.
Sure.
Then you show up.
Yeah, and I don't think there would have been anything underhanded to Dana there.
Yeah, so you would have considered that.
He probably would have thought that was cool.
Yeah, you would have considered that?
Sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I never talked about it. I didn't know how it worked. I get on a plane the next day and just show up. I don't know how it worked. Yeah.
And that was more than you were making for that.
What
fight,
does that
right?
mean? They show up on Raw with the belt. So I'm picturing myself, to this day, what I picture is I'm on the ramp and there I am with the belt, and the audience and the wrestling crowd's looking at me going, who's that guy? That's what I'm picturing would have happened.
They probably wanted you to do the old Alundra Blaze, throw it in the
There
garbage.
you go.
Right?
Yes. Those were the words that were used. Show up on Raw with the belt.
For $5 million?
Yeah.
Do you remember how much you made for that one?
I would have paid to go to Raw.
Yeah.
I always pay to go to Raw when they were in town.
And that's probably more than you were making to fight him.
To fight Anderson the second
$5
time was 50 and 50.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I don't believe you for a second.
Well, that's through a commission.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, and then, yes, of course,
Yes,
right.
And then the other
yes, the old
90%
deals
of
were
the...
certainly in there.
right.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore.
I thought you were asking me what the contract was.
Right.
First time I fought him, the contract was for 35 and 35. And I lost, so I got 35.
Right.
It was a hard night for 35, I must tell you. Yeah.
Wow, that's an amazing story.
I'm enjoying talking to you.
This is
fun.
great. We could do a whole show like this. I wish
Sure.
you lived, nearby, that we could actually do things, because it's different when you're, face to face.
What's your
By the
drive?
way- By the way,
What's your drive in here?
I
2
know
hours?
you did a great thing there, a veteran move, which I'll acknowledge. You tried to, you didn't want to talk about this anymore. You went for the water and you did the I enjoy. You think now I'll take the compliment. It will boost my ego, and then we'll get off
Yes.
the topic of you getting an offer not to show up to a UFC fight.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I really have told the whole story. I know that I only know a couple people, and and I feel like my face will crack while I'm
yeah.
trying to not. Yeah, I've done such a good job not revealing the name.
Can I just ask, where were you when you got the call?
In my driveway at my old house.
Okay.
100%. Sit
And
in
they
my
said,
truck.
"Chael,
remember very
we have an
clear.
offer
It's
for you."
funny that you asked me that. I know exactly where I was.
And you were blown away.
Yeah.
Were you married?
No.
Who was the first person you told?
That whole story too.
You must have hung up the phone and said, so-and-so, guess what just happened to me?
Probably. Yeah, I
Mom?
do not know. Likely would have been my mom.
Right.
Because that story couldn't get out.
Yushin Okami?
No, I could have told Yushin. Yes, I could tell
He would have
Yushin
been-
everything.
He would have been a vault.
He would have nodded and
Yes.
smiled.
Amazing.
No idea what I said.
Unbelievable. Wow, what a story that is. Do you ever regret it?
No.
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 You would have been done. Dana would have never forgiven you for that one.
He should have forgiven me.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I would have double crossed him to the highest of levels.
Horrible thing. I have a question.
No call, no show. Oh my gosh. No.
Amazing. Do you know if they've ever offered anyone else this?
You would have no one take. I wouldn't respect anybody that did that.
Yeah.
Even if he tried to tell, I got $10 million. Gave your word.
And why did they hate? Why were they so mad at that point?
I don't know. They had a back and forth that a lot of people don't know about, and you might
really?
even remember that. Mike Goldberg was in the middle of that.
yeah.
What's that date back to 2005? They had a big back and forth.
Okay.
Dana and Vince respect each other tremendously, especially publicly, but that doesn't. I think they get very competitive behind the scenes. I don't have any evidence of that.
Not surprised.
I mean, publicly and they stay out of each other's wheelhouse.
Okay.
Neither one wants to. It appears neither one wants the De La Hoya Dana moment. Dana's doing a good job with his business. Vince does a good job with his business, and they stay at.
Yeah.
I personally believe, because they earned each other's respect, and it probably didn't come the nice way.
Okay. Fair enough.
I personally believe. Do you believe that?
Yeah, I believe it
I
too.
believe at some point one of them bucked up and the other answered, and they say,
I agree.
Let's just walk away.
Yeah. 2 alpha males.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And it seems the way that they do behave publicly is they earned a respect, likely from about going to war. Yeah.
I've never seen them
Likely.
together. Have you ever seen them
Yes.
together?
No.
Photo op? Nothing.
No.
And you'd think at some point they would have run into this.
Oh, they've been together. Yeah.
Right.
Dana came out publicly with a statement a long time ago. He was here to do ESPN.
Okay.
And he popped up there. Popped in
Oh.
unexpected, wanted to see Vince.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was actually about a production issue. He wanted Vince's advice.
And did he take the meeting?
Yeah, Vince took the meeting, and Dana had to ask him questions about how he hung in the live arena. When you do a stadium show, how are you hanging these? He had a production question, and
Wow,
Vince took it and answered
fascinating.
him. Yeah, helped him.
I wanted to ask you about something. I hope you don't mind me asking about Paige Van
I
Zandt.
really don't mind.
Okay. She posted a photo of her wearing an ATT shirt.
Yes,
What's that all about?
she is a traitor and left gyms to ATT.
That's what I figured.
No, not quite. Our gym is now an ATT gym.
Okay.
Paige is anything but a traitor. She's a wonderful teammate. I was trying to get your attention there. Gracie Baja, which is what we were in Portland. Gracie Baja is now under Dan Lambert's.
That's it.
It's now
So that's the big
ATT.
news.
Yeah.
But same location, same coaches.
location, same everything, a little bit different schedule. And that's all it came down to is Gracie Baja, because it was a franchise, requires a very specific schedule, jiu-jitsu based. And Coach Fabiano Scherner goes, I've got so much MMA going on, I can't meet that criteria. Can you work with me? And they're like, yeah, we really can't. If you're going to be Gracie Baja, you have to do the schedule. So ATT.
Okay. So does that mean on Friday you'll wear an ATT logo?
Yeah.
Really?
I am
First
now
time in your
ATT.
career?
Yeah.
Is that weird?
I had forgotten until you just brought it up. Now,
Okay.
I'm very happy to be part. I will support the team.
Yeah.
This happened 1 week ago.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 days to be precise. So Sunday of the previous week. Today's Monday. No, it'll be cool. It'll be cool.
No problems.
No.
All right. Will your son come to this fight?
He'll be there.
No way.
Yeah, he's got a robe. Says baby gangster.
Really?
He's wearing his robe.
Is this his first time?
Yeah. He's been to fights before.
Okay.
But, they say if you go to the whole thing, it can be 6 hours.
Yeah.
Even in great seats and with some popcorn and something to drink. It doesn't work for a kid his age. So he will come to this one.
He's going to watch it live?
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I'm excited. Yeah. Be excited. It'd be nice to see him.
Is it a bit nerve-wracking for you knowing that he's there?
I don't think so. He comes to a lot of the practices, not all of them, but a lot of them.
Okay.
And of 8 to 10 practices a week, I bet you he's at 4. So no, I'm used to. And then he and I got to fight every single night before he goes to bed.
And he understands what's happening.
Yeah.
You don't think he'll freak out or anything?
He may, but no, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I think he'll understand.
And you offered this to him? You said, would you like to come?
I did not. My wife is out here, and so we have no babysitter.
Right.
So when we have no choice, she's got the kids. She's got the kids. I'm in the ring.
And your daughter's going as well? Mm-hmm. She'll be at the fight?
She also has an outfit.
Really?
But it's a very pretty. I love New York.
This is a big
black
deal.
and white. She looks very.
Are you going to acknowledge them, like Cowboy does?
Well, I may try to, but I don't know where they'll be seated. I haven't thought about it till again. You're asking me questions I didn't know.
Well, this is a big moment. Like,
you're telling me I'm an unsigned athlete with no home. I didn't realize this until I brought it up.
You have kids.
Better win this
and
fight.
a loving wife. Yes.
Better win this fight.
It's a big one.
Old Chael wants a deal, huh?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Do you need me to help out?
I feel like you're already helping.
I'll call up Scott, Mike.
Yeah. Hey, by the way,
Let's take care of our guy.
Did you overlook this guy,
Yeah.
or did you let this
going on?
expire on purpose?
Yeah.
No, everything is great there.
This is wonderful.
I will, in fact, I should have brought you milk, right? Milk and a cupcake.
This Magnolia?
Now, how is that? Sometimes when guys are cutting weight, they don't want to see food or be around. I'm the opposite. I want to know. I want to know how that tastes. You look happy.
Oh.
Is it happy?
I love icing.
Yeah. It's the best.
A lot of people don't
Are
like
you
icing.
just eating the icing? Are you 8?
This is amazing. What a nice surprise.
Good. I'm glad that it's good. Should have brought you something to drink.
I'm going to leave it here for later.
Would you rather have a coffee or a milk?
Right now?
Yeah.
I'm not a big milk drinker.
Really?
Yeah.
Even with a
It's just like a
sugary
lot of
treat?
milk. It's a lot of cow.
You don't dip? You don't dip like the Oreo or something?
No.
Really?
I do love coffee, though.
Certainly you eat Oreos.
No.
Have you had an Oreo?
I have
Okay.
Only double stuffed. If it's not double stuffed, I can't deal with it.
Really?
Yeah, it's just not enough
And for
icing.
me, that's too much. It's like the double quarter pounder.
Remember the colorful
As
ones?
good as it is, it's just too much meat and cheese.
Remember the ones that were like yellow and blue?
Yeah.
Those were fun.
I get that actually bothers me.
Why?
Because the Oreo recipe came out in 1929 and it has never changed. That's how good of a cookie it was.
You knew the year?
Yeah, that's right. And so now they have gone, and you got the gold, and then you got the double stuffed, and then you got the holiday one, and now they're putting peanut butter in it. You can get some that are pink.
Too much.
It's garbage.
Original.
1929, same recipe,
Don't mess it up.
black, cream in the middle, done. I'm not thrilled that you like the double stuffed, quite
I
frankly.
love the double stuff, but I haven't had it in a while. You know Corporate Jake?
Yes.
He's very nervous right now. He's sweating bullets. He's talking in my ear.
Because we're going too long?
Going too long. He cracks the whip.
He wants Chael to go. He wants the ratings to go.
He has no idea what he's doing.
Corporate Jake? He's not thinking about the corporation right now.
It's so he says he wants you to stay and me to go.
See, that was a wonderful face
That
turn,
was.
Jake. That was actually brilliant.
That was great. You know, we did a live show of this show on Friday in Chicago.
You killed it. You sold out. Congrats on that, by the way.
Everyone was like, I'm so happy Corporate Jake's not here. But everyone said they missed you. They wanted you there.
Hey, Stipe won that. That surprised me.
Thanks for spoiling it for everyone.
Doggone it.
How did you know he won
It's
it?
not out?
Well, I just wanted people to download the show. In case they missed it. It's fine. But how did you know that? Did you listen?
Yeah, but you know who I would have thought would have won of that panel?
Ben.
Yeah, you know. Oh, he's good.
Yeah.
He's very good. Paul, I would have said Eddie just because he's the longest veteron up there.
I thought Felder because he's a broadcaster.
Fan. Yeah, and he travels around. I mean, he goes from show to show. Felder's a great guest because of that.
Stipe crushed it.
Crushed it.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
He undersold himself, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hustled everyone. I
enjoyed
bought
it.
it because he said, I don't know trivia.
You enjoyed the show?
Oh, yeah, I thought it was very good.
Wow.
Yeah, I liked the stage. I liked the belt. I liked that there was an award.
thank you.
I liked the backdrop.
Wow, it's very nice
Yeah.
of you.
I also like that you didn't do a circular. You know, I like that you were up here and the audience was
Right,
back here. That's the
right.
appropriate way to do it. Theater style.
All right. Well, we are out of time. This has been a lot of fun. Bellator 222, Madison Square Garden.
No contract.
Chael's
got no contract around here.
Chael Sonnen against Lyoto Machida. Roy McDonald against Neiman Gracie
That's
for the welterweight title. There's a lot of question marks surrounding Mr. McDonald.
Yeah.
What kind of state is he in?
Back too. Yeah, I agree with you on that. And what kind of state is Neiman in? I mean, you can ride highs too high too in this sport. You know, it's not all about just getting down and whether you can get out of the rut. He's on a real high, beating Ed Ruth.
The co-promotion.
Yes.
Kyoji Horiguchi, one of the best fighters in the world right now. Darian Caldwell, Dylan Dennis, Heather Hardy, Aaron Pico, Phil Hawes.
Keep going.
Robson Gracie.
Loaded, yes.
I mean, off the top of my head here.
Yeah, that was impressive.
It's a pretty impressive line. I will be there.
Cool.
The whole crew will be there.
I knew you were going.
Yeah, you just wanted to.
Just want to see.
The whole crew will be there.
All right.
This man will be there. Chael P.
Corporate Jake, come on out and meet him, everybody.
That's right.
Oh, I leave,
just
not
actually
you.
leave.
Oh, I thought we were like fading to. No, I get up and go. That's how this
no
works.
Breaks. Yes,
right.
There's the
I've had it with you anyway, Helwani.
It's been so much fun. Chael, you can take my water.
Yeah. Thank you for that. See you
no
later.
problem. Safe travels and goodbye to the team. Thank you for the cupcakes. Why? Do you want to take them back, Leah? No, I love them. Well, unless you want them. No, I think it's a nice little. I think it's a nice look. It's a nice touch. No, I mean, it seemed like you were trying to like take back the gift, you know? Bye, everyone. Take care. What a great crew. Thanks, guys. There he is. Chael P., Dylan Dennis, Max Humphrey, Eduardo Dantas, Juan Archuleta, Darian Caldwell, Kyoji Horiguchi, Lyoto Machida, Chael Sonnen, and Roy McDonald, Neiman Gracie. How great was it to have Chael P. in studio? Okay, let's not keep our next guest waiting too much longer. Let's say hello now to one of the very best female fighters in the world. She returns to action on July 27th against Felicia Spencer. She is the one and only Cris Cyborg. There she is, Cris. Sorry for keeping you waiting, Cris. Chael likes to talk a lot. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Ariel. I'm very excited to be here to talk to you.
Well, it's great to have you. And you're right now, correct me if I'm wrong, Cris, you're in South Africa right now?
Yes, I came. You can. Let me see what side I can.
You're perfect.
It's okay now.
Stay right there. Yeah, you're perfect.
Okay. I came first time to Uganda and then to South Africa. First, I came to do missionary work, and I have the opportunity to train in Dome Edge team and have a lot of guys in my division. And I train with Rich Gun and Guan, and I love the training here. And I take this second part of my camp. Finish my camp here in South Africa.
Okay, so you're going to stay from when you got there, all the way till the end of July when you go to Edmonton. Is that the plan?
Yes. We train here already. I start camp in California, and then I didn't know I have a plan before the fight, but I will have a plan to come to South Africa. Just continue training here and be ready for my next fight.
And what is it like over there in South Africa? You don't hear from a lot of fighters who train out of there.
I have Dome Edge, and they have a lot of good guys. The place I train, it have a lot of good guys, and man, I'm learning a lot, and a lot of young kids. It's make me feel young again, and it's nice to see their eyes shine about MMA, about their dreams, and they train really hard. I'm really happy to be here.
This is the first time in well over a decade that you're going into a fight, Cris, coming off of a loss. Does it feel different for you?
I think you just, of course, after the loss, and the win too, I'm type of fighter. I always try to learn, I never stop learn. And, I think the loss happened, I never, before I go to the cage to fight, I never think, okay, you're never going to lose. I never think that before. Can happen, I always train hard and be ready. If it wins, consequence. If it loss, happen, just keep it work hard and be training. I'm a fighter, can happen.
You seem to handle the loss very well when it happened in December, but once you got home and you were out of the spotlight, was it hard to deal with it? Did you harp on it a lot? Did it affect you?
It's after like 1 week you think about, of course that fight I don't did anything I train. I don't use the plan we had. It's a lot of things you think about and try to fix, but the reality, everything happened for a reason. If that loss for happen, if I pray and let God take care of everything in my life. And if that loss happen, it's because of one reason. And for sure, one day I'm gonna see why.
Okay, right now you don't know why though.
I think I don't know. I know why, but I'm gonna keep it for me.
How come? Why can't you tell us?
I know. I think this is can be for me. Maybe one day. Maybe
Okay,
you guys can hear my one day when I have my testimony. Maybe I can. You guys can say.
fair
I can tell
enough.
them.
Let's be
Yes.
clear about something, though, Cris. You would like to fight Amanda Nunes again, right?
Yes. After my fight, everybody saw me in the post conference, and they say that, of course, rematch.
So why is Dana White saying that you don't want this fight?
Funny. I was in home and I watched the press conference and I cannot believe Dan White said that. He knows I text him then a day after the fight, after the post conference. I said, man, I want a rematch. And you know what he's trying to do? He's tried damage my brand, saying, Cris is scary, Cris don't want to fight. He's the type of guy saying, I'm like Vanderlei Silva with dress. He's the type of guy laughing when Joe Rogan say I have a dick. He's this type of guy. And he's go online and say I'm afraid because he want to try damage my brand. It's not damage my brand. People follow me. People follow my beginning of my career and know who I am. I'm not afraid of anybody. I always train hard. And everybody know I asked for the rematch after that fight. If it don't happen because he said no.
So do you feel like and also to be clear, you have not signed a new contract, correct? This will be your last fight?
Yes, I'm focused now really for next fight in Canada with Felicia. It's gonna be my last fight, my contract. And then now my managers really deal with UFC because they refuse pay my fly and my coach's fly from South Africa to Canada. And then it's funny see Dana White and in the press conference say she's care about the fight Amanda Nunes, and my manager have to deal this. They don't want to pay like $3,000 the fly, and then now they say about I don't want a rematch. Come on, son. If you saw the video I posted, come on, son. This I feel in my heart when I saw that video.
So you have coaches from South Africa, and you're saying the UFC doesn't want to pay for them to come to Edmonton from South Africa to corner you? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Wow. So
It's
what are you going to
funny,
do?
but it's reality. I'm gonna pay my own fly and my team fly. It's my coach's fly, of course.
Wow. So with this in mind and what you just said earlier about the Nunes fight, do you feel like this will be your last fight? Do you feel like the relationship is going to come to an end regardless of what happens on the 27th of July?
Um, I hear a lot from UFC, from the people work with UFC. They say, Cris, you don't have value. In Brazil, people don't with you. We know value in Brazil. We know value for UFC. I want to feel like this. I want to feel after my next fight, I have to wait a little while, a little bit, and I want to see on other promoters. I want to see how much value I have. I think school you see that before you can hear anything say you don't value anything. Let's see. I want to see another promoter say that for me, and because this I want to do my next fight, and I have take a little while and see another things.
You want to test the market.
Yes, why not? Why not?
Right. Why not? But
If somebody at the house now watch this interview and they maybe put my shoes and they think why not? Why not? I think it's why not? The opportunity's coming, and if I can have the opportunity to see my value on other promoters, maybe I don't know.
well, it's always good to know how much you're truly worth and what your value is, and that's the best way to know it.
Yes.
So I think it's a fine idea, but I'm wondering if that is your plan. Do you feel pressure? Like you have to win this fight, right? Because if you win this fight, your value goes up. If you lose, you have less leverage. So this is a truly must-win situation for you, correct?
I don't think my value is coming because, after my last fight, I think everything I did for the sport, it's like my legacy. I stayed like 10 years undefeated. I did a lot. I have my first fight 140 UFC. Before I came into UFC, I have a Waterson Cyborg Nation behind me because I went to my UFC. Then it happened. Then did a campaign for me being UFC. I already have a lot of followers before UFC. And I just have to train hard, be ready for my next fight. I don't think and of course I want to win. I would do my best to win, but I know God take care of everything, but I'm gonna train hard like all of my fights I do, but I don't think anything change about the lost or not. It's happening. It's fight. One day you win, one day you lost.
I noticed that you were at the All Elite Wrestling show in Las Vegas in late May. Were you just there as a fan? Are you interested in actually working for them?
I went there and it's very fun. I went to do one appearance Saturday morning, and then after nighttime I went to the show and I met a lot of cool people. Man, it's hard. It's hard to be a pro wrestler. It's they work really hard and very athletics, and maybe I did train before a little bit for see how's it work, but I might focus now. It's my career, MMA career, but why not? Why not? Maybe I have the opportunity. Maybe people can see maybe Ronda Rousey against Cyborg at pro wrestling.
I feel like you would be a great pro wrestler. I feel like you have the athleticism, you have the strength, you have the look. I mean, I think you would be amazing at this. Is this something that you've been interested in for a while?
It's gonna be one big challenge for me. Big challenge.
Okay.
But I like challenges.
Right. And what about your dreams of being a boxer? Is that still something that you think about?
I have my after my next fight, I want to keep hard training, and I have to have one. I'm gonna be a little bit while. I'm not gonna be in the cage. Maybe if I have the opportunity for the boxing fight after the Canada, my manager work on this and just wait for see what's gonna happen. But nothing yet. I have to do just focus for my next fight and wait the time and see what's gonna happen.
Did you see Felicia Spencer's debut a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, with Meg Anderson.
Yes.
I watched that fight.
What did you think
a
of her?
little bit. I don't watch too much. I think she's a great fight. She's young. She's have a couple of fights. She never lost before. I think she's the real 145. Or maybe I don't know. And I watched a couple of fights with her. She's good grappling, and she likes to kick too. I think it will be a good fight. I have a lot of fans in Canada. I think it'd be nice.
So it's interesting because I think she's really good as well, but I think they're rushing her. Like I would have preferred her fight a couple more times before fighting someone like you. Do you feel like they're making a mistake by putting her in there after one fight with you?
After her fight, she said I would like to fight me, and then I said, I'm ready. I cannot wait more 9 months for a fight. I want to fight. I'm not have 17 years old. I really want to work all the time and maybe 3 times fight for a year. And I don't know. She's accepted the fight. If she accepted the fight, maybe because she felt she's ready.
Okay, fair enough. And so just to be clear, after this fight, because I had heard in March your contract was supposed to be up. Is it like the day after this fight you're free to talk to anyone else? Or is there another period there that you have to wait and then talk to people?
It's a lot of things going on now, but
okay.
I can tell you I have my next fight. And after this next fight, probably we're going to be negotiation period and have to wait a little bit. It's like with on UFC, and we're gonna be like 6 months working. It's 3 months. Let's see.
Okay. When you look back at this point at your UFC career, do you look back at it with fondness? Do you feel like it could have been better? You could have had bigger fights. You had the weird run at 140. Like how do you view your run in the UFC as of right now?
A lot of things happen in UFC. Like the fight everybody would like to watch, like against Ronda Rousey, never happened. And the same guy say I'm scared to fight Amanda, I don't want to rematch. It's the same guy say Ronda Rousey want to fight me. Why did that fight don't happen? It's not because me, because I dropped 140. I did the best I can. I make 139 for that fight. And I think I did a lot of fights in UFC, and I think a lot of fights don't happen because they make like me against Misha Tate, me against Ronda Rousey, me against GDR, maybe rematch with Holly, maybe rematch with Amanda. A lot of things, a lot of fights don't happen the fans would like to see, not just because me, it's not because they didn't did their fights. I think it's a lot of fights people would like to watch still.
Yeah. And will you reach out to the UFC or your management to tell them that you do want to fight Amanda, that this isn't true? Will you try to clear the air? I mean, you're clearing the air right now, but internally?
Yes, after the fight, I asked for rematch. Before I signed the deal for fight Holly, for fight Amanda, I said I would like to put a automatic rematch.
Oh.
And my manager contact UFC for sure for do the rematch. And then Dana said, man, we're not gonna have the fast rematch. She have to fight again. I'm gonna have to fight again. Let's see what's gonna happen.
Do you think Amanda wants the rematch, or do you think she's part of the issue as well?
What I mean, rematch me against her.
Yeah. Do you think she wants it, or do you think she doesn't want it?
She told me I have to wait 2 years. Maybe FC do whatever she want to do, because the last time I wait 9 months, and if she would like to fight, of course she can rematch soon. But for her, for what she gonna rematch now? She's want to defend her fight 135. She want to play the game. She want to be champion the both division, and she want to play the game. Let's see. And UFC don't make her sign 2 deals 145. She just signed 1 fight 145.
Right.
Then cannot force her fight either.
What about getting to meet Ed Sheeran? I love Ed Sheeran. How did that happen?
I came to the show here in South Africa, and it's really fun, man. I know a couple of music to him, and I really like, but I have friends really love him, and we came to watch the videos, and very nice to meet him.
Yeah, it's amazing. You've really been building up your YouTube channel. What's the address of your YouTube channel again? Cyborg Nation?
Cris Cyborg.
Cris Cyborg.
Cris Cyborg. Yes. Oh. Nice to talk about. It's very cool. We just put one video, the rematch with the watermelon. You guys gonna like.
I saw that.
And it's nice because the platform we make it our channel, because people really don't know me outside the cage. It's a very nice opportunity for me, can give more love for my fans, and for know who's the cyber, who I am. And I think they enjoy, we just passed 40,000 people follow us, and I have fun. I have fun doing these videos and show a little bit of love for my fans.
How difficult is that? How difficult is it to try to squish the watermelon like Ben Askren once did?
Man, it's really hard, Ben Askren, he's the champ about this, it's really hard. I try a lot of times. And he's very good about that. Maybe we can do one video he's teaching me, but it's no easy.
And you've also been working, I think, with Justin Wren, correct, for the Fight for the Forgotten, doing building the water wells in Africa. Is that accurate?
Yes, I went to Uganda, and then we went to Pygmies tribe, and I went over there. I put the 2 water wells, and I work with Justin. He's doing an amazing job with Pygmies tribe. It's really nice. Then teach them farm, then teach them get out the jungle and live, in the city in Uganda. And really nice, man. This trip changed my life.
Wow, it's amazing.
This trip showed me a lot of things. You cannot complain about anything. You wake up in the morning, you have amazing life. You wake up in the morning, you have water in the sink. You don't need to walk 20, 30 miles or 20, I don't know where. And it's changed my life. It's really nice. I came to after my fight and help people and to see how important you be the world champion. The world champion is nice for you be a champion in people's life. Make people remember me, not just because I hold the belt, but because I do something nice for them.
Amen. You are a great person, Cris.
Amen.
I know you do a lot of things for kids. You go visit the sick children. It's amazing what you do. You're a great role model, and it's nice to see and hear that despite all the drama and the craziness and what happened with Amanda, you're in a good place. You're happy. You're getting ready for July 27th. I'm very happy to see that. I'm very happy to hear that. So I wish you the best in training. Enjoy your time in South Africa, Cris. Good luck with everything, and we'll see you out there in Edmonton.
Thank you, Ariel. Thank you, my fans. I'm really happy to go to Canada. I hope all Cyborg Nation be there. And, I'm happy back to the cage and do my best, what I love to do. And I train hard and just wait for you guys some love. And okay, thank you, Ariel.
Thank you so much, Cris. We'll talk to you soon. There she is, Cris Cyborg, approaching perhaps the final fight on her UFC contract. We'll see how that all turns out. It has always been a bit of a rocky relationship, if you will, between the two sides. And I was surprised to hear that on Saturday. In all honesty, I mean, I think she's been very clear that she wanted the rematch, and I don't understand why she would not want the rematch. She doesn't strike me as the kind of person who would be afraid of anyone. She has fought anyone that has been put in front of her. So we'll see how it all turns out. It's been an interesting road. Cris Cyborg in the UFC, and the potential last fight is July 27th in Canada, in Edmonton, against Felicia Spencer. I forgot to show this to Chael. I forgot to give him this. I was supposed to give him one of these, and I forgot. I wonder if he's still here. I guess I could bring it to New York. If he's still here, I'd love to give it to him. Would be nice. All right. Thank you very much to Cris Cyborg. In a matter of moments, I do believe we're going to be joined by the karate hottie, Michelle Waterson, get her take on the strawweight division, get her take on where she fits in the whole title picture, get her take on Tatiana Suarez, all that and more. Later on, we'll be joined by King Mo Lawal and Calvin Kattar. Henry Cejudo still to come, so don't go anywhere. Should I tell our good friends out there about the good should I do this now or should I not? I don't know what's going on here. Let me tell you about our good friends over at Ancestry DNA while we effort getting Michelle Waterson on the horn here. Ancestry DNA gives you so much more than just the places you're from. Ancestry connects you to the places in the world where your story started using precise geographic detail and clear-cut historical insights. You can even trace your ancestors' journeys over time, following how and why your family moved from place to place. And to amplify your results, you can start a free trial on Ancestry and build a tree so your ancestors become more than just a name. They've combined DNA results with over 100 million family trees and billions of records to give you more insight into your genealogy and origins. Only Ancestry can tell such a rich story with unique features that give a more complete picture about a person, like events that shaped them, how they made a living, and what they excelled in. Ancestry's unique features and record collections can... Again? No, wait, I didn't do it again. Picture of people from your past, like the events that shaped... Wait, sort of. It kind of is the same. How they made a living, and even where they attended schools. It's so easy to get started. Let me tell you how to get started. Go to Ancestry.com/MMA today for 20% off your Ancestry DNA kit. That's Ancestry.com/MMA for 20% off your Ancestry DNA kit. Ancestry.com/MMA. And also, for a limited time, now through June 13th, go to Ancestry.com/MMA today to get your Ancestry DNA kit for $69. Just $69. That's Ancestry.com/MMA for $69. Ancestry.com/MMA is the place to go. Support them because they support us. There you see Michelle Waterson's resume. Now let's talk to Michelle Waterson. They call her the karate hottie. She's kind enough to join us on the program right now, so let's not keep her waiting any longer. There she is. Michelle, how are you?
I'm lovely. The weather was nice, but it seems like it's raining now.
Oh, no.
Hanging out with my family in Florida.
Where are you?
I'm in Florida. We went to Universal these last 2 days. So.
How is it?
Well, it's raining now.
Oh, no.
But we had lots of fun. I hadn't seen my family in a while, so it's good to hang out with her. My niece just turned 10, so we did the Harry Potter thing.
You know, we're a network owned by Disney, so if you're in Florida, you should have said that you're at Disney, like to just sort of butter up the bosses here. But it's okay. It's okay. We appreciate the honesty. I'm assuming you watched UFC 238 this weekend?
You know what? I didn't get a chance to. I just got a chance to watch the highlights of it. I was out here hanging out with my family and my niece, and I wanted to give her my full attention. Okay. Well, I respect that even more. I appreciate that. I was watching UFC 238 on Saturday night, and of course, there's this little race to see who will be next for the strawweight title fight, and I watched the Tatiana Suarez fight, and I tweeted moments afterwards, I said, the big winner coming out of this fight is Michelle Waterson, because I felt like
Suarez while she won, and I know afterwards we found out that she has an injured neck, and I still think that she's going to be a superstar and a potential future champion. She's undefeated. She's very young. I just felt like she didn't like put that exclamation point, and then I felt like Michelle Waterson is the one. And then, to my surprise, the post-fight press conference, Dana White is asked about you, and he was like, Michelle Waterson, what? She's low rank. I was like, what? What's going on here? Explain to me, what is going on here? There has to be more to the story.
I love Dana. We've had a great relationship. I respect him. I just think he's really busy. He has a lot on his hands. He has to take care of a lot of fighters. And at the end of the day, he's probably given, a breakdown or a lineup of the fighters and just a list of the rankings. And he talks about the fighters that way. And in my opinion, if you're looking at the rankings, in my opinion, I think the rankings are shit. And I feel like I have a great case against me, especially after what you just said. If we're going off of last performances, now Tatiana is facing people ranked in the top 10, and we see what happens when you start facing, higher ranking girls. The competition becomes more steep, and it's hard to pop off good, solid, dominant performances, the higher the competition.
Okay, so do you feel like you're still, so basically, was I right? Are you the big winner from Saturday?
I 100% agree. I don't think it was enough to showcase that she was ready for a championship title fight. I feel like, from what I've heard, all my teammates and coaches back at home text me right away and said, you got this in the bank, whatever it is, you get the belt. And if they make you fight Tatiana, then you got Tatiana too. They see holes in her stand-up, they see holes in her ground, they see holes in her wrestling, and we're ready to take it.
By the way, I think that's the first time I've ever heard you cuss before.
Oh.
It was incredible. It was the most amazing thing. I didn't know the Karate Hottie had that in her repertoire. That just shows how mad you are. You said the S word.
I've reached a point in my career where if I'm not, it's hard to be humble when you fought for close to 13 years and you just take whatever fight is given to you, hoping that you can just earn your way up the rankings. And then stuff like this happens where you win 3 fights in a row. My last fight was super dominant. I won all 3 rounds real decisively. And I go down in rankings. It's just really confusing and to me, frustrating.
Yeah, the rankings are a mess. I agree with you. I don't even know who those people are, to be honest. I don't even know if they're real people. I don't even know if they're actual human beings who do those rankings. It's a bizarre thing. So I wouldn't put too much stock into them. But I thought another thing that was interesting that he said was like, she doesn't want to return until September, October. I mean, to be honest, it's June, and they've got the July cards all filled up, and we're talking about August, and that pay-per-view is essentially filled up as well, the one with DC. So then we're talking about September, October. So I don't understand what the problem is there. Can you explain why he said that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly, I don't know what the answer to that is. I think that they might want to try to use me for something sooner than that. But I have my eyes set on the gold, and I feel like anything else that I take is going to keep me in the same spot that I'm in. And I think I just have to take a page out of, Tatiana's book and just go for number 1 so that I can get the shot.
Did you reach out to him after that?
I didn't.
Okay.
I don't know if my husband has or not, though. He's the one that takes care of a lot of that stuff. But, the thing is with fighters, they're going to take whatever fight is given to them. And that's why it's up to your manager to be on the business end of it and take care of all the other stuff. Dana knows that I want the shot. I mean, I've been I've been going around talking to everybody about it, posting it, utilizing my own social media to tell people why I want it, why I think I'm deserving of it. And I don't think I am out of place by asking for it.
Is it a little bit exhausting to not just worry about the fighting and all that stuff, but now you have to go on this almost like this campaign to convince the world that you should be next?
It is, but I feel like at the level that I'm at, this is what I have to do.
Okay. So it's not something that you are too annoyed by. You get it's part of the territory, so to speak.
I think so, and I guess I can kind of be a bit proud of that I have reached that level where now there has to be a bit of negotiation. There has to be a little bit of, all right, well, what do we do now? And that's where we're at.
How will you react if they don't give it to you?
I'm still still training, I'm still fighting. But if they don't give me the belt, I want number 1 or number 2, and that's Rose, who has obviously already spoke about wanting to take a break, and I commend her for that. She's honest with herself, and it's really hard for fighters to do that nowadays. And people don't understand, like, when you're fighting at that caliber of when you're taking those caliber of fights, how much of a stress it can be on you, on your family, on your spouse. And so, she's just being honest with herself. And the next person after that is Tatiana. So if they don't give me the belt, at least let me and Tatiana fight for who gets to fight for the belt.
Oh, wow. So you're even asking for that. You're not shying away from Tatiana. It seems like a lot of other fighters are.
Well, no, not at all, especially after this weekend.
Right. You weren't impressed by what you saw?
No, and also, when you get to this caliber, we all have the same amount of set skills. I feel like Tatiana's done a great job at utilizing her strengths to win the fights, but now, at the level that she's broken through, she has to face, she has to be able to understand what it takes to get past, your first answer. If your first answer gets shut down, what happens with your second answer? And I do understand injury, but injury is a part of every fighter's fight camp. We all go through it. It's not something like out of the norm.
Do you feel like she's overhyped?
No, I think that she is, she's good. But I do feel like I don't think that she's Khabib.
Right. Like people were comparing her to Khabib not that long ago.
Yeah, I think her wrestling is really good, but this is MMA, and obviously the longer that she's in it, the more she'll grow and get better. But at this moment, I don't think that she's ready for a championship fight. Okay.
You were in Brazil. You saw the Andrade Namajunas fight in person. What did you make? Obviously, Andrade won the fight, but let's be real. She did not win the first round. Rose looked phenomenal in the first round. What did you make of her performance overall?
You're absolutely right. I feel like Rose was winning a couple shots more, and I think that it would have been a TKO for Rose. I think that it was great on Andrade's part to go back into her corner, take a deep breath, regather herself, and go out there. She knew, I think, that if they went 5 rounds, it was going to be a tough night for her. So I think she knew she had to finish it and finish it the best way she knew how, which is with her pile driver, her signature move.
But when you saw that, did your confidence grow? You're like, I could take that. Like, she's not the boogie woman that everyone is making her out to be, right?
I mean, I think we all saw that when she fought Joanna. And I think Rose just took a page out of her book. The only difference with Rose and Joanna is Rose likes to take risks sometimes, and that's because she's really confident in her jiu-jitsu. Unfortunately, it didn't play out for her that time. But, at the end of the day, we all do really we breathe the same air, we bleed the same blood. Yes, Andrade hits hard. Yes, she is really good with her takedowns. It's a fight.
Right. Anything can happen in a fight, and you've been looking amazing as of late. Are you injured, by the way, or are you 100%?
I'm 100%.
Okay.
With my family and training to get better every day.
Right. So this idea that like you're asking for more time off or anything like that, not true.
You're not asking for time off. I'm asking for the right fight.
Right. You want the proper fight. You want to fight for the belt. You want a proper training camp. You want to get what's yours. You want to get what you deserve, what you earned.
I do, and I think it's there's just so many people behind me, so many people that believe in me. I've struggled. I've gone through the ups. I've gone through the downs. I know what it's like to be a champ. I've fought 5-round fights before. I've defended my belt. I fought for a main card in the UFC. I fought for the biggest fight on the UFC. I will rise to the occasion. Give me a chance. Let me be UFC's mom champ. That's all I'm asking.
I mean, you've been pushing for that for a long time, and that really means a lot to you. That's not just like a gimmick, a hashtag. This is something that you really want. You want to be the first mom champ in UFC history. Why does that mean so much to you?
Because I know how much sacrifice parents put into their children, and I want that to give, parents all around the world something to be proud of.
You're getting emotional now. A little bit.
Don't pause, Ariel.
Oh, I was just letting you do your thing. I was just letting it all come out. It's raining outside,
Yeah, that's what it is. It's rain.
No, but I appreciate the fact that it means a lot to you and that it's never been done. And this is, like you said, 13 years. And I remember not that long ago, they thought your career might have been over with all the injuries, the hand injuries, and that you wouldn't be able to realize your dream of fighting in the UFC and having a UFC run. And now you're on the cusp. And they're saying that What? Michelle Waterson? She's too low ranked? No. Michelle Waterson deserves it. I'm here to say I'm on your side on this one, Michelle, right? I will be honest. I thought if Tatiana did something spectacular, maybe she'd get the nod. But I don't feel like that happened on Saturday, and that's no knock on her. She's very young. It just wasn't the kind of performance that you need to tell everyone that you're next. And that's why I feel like it should be you.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, so what do we have to do? Do you need me to call Dana for you? What do you want me to do?
Yes. Call him personally. Just, put him a good word for me.
Okay. No, you don't want that to happen. That will actually make things worse for you. But I hope it happens. And up until this point, there's been no talks, no negotiations, no nothing. No one's reached out about it.
I don't know. You'll have to ask my husband about that.
Where's your husband? I feel like he's like 2 inches away from you right now. Oh, hey, Josh. How are you?
How you doing? Doing good. Put me on the spot right away.
Yeah, well, I mean, the headphones kind of, gave it away because it was just sort of dangling on the other end. What could you tell us about that?
So no, just everything that Michelle told you is accurate, right? We're waiting to see what happens. I'm with you on everything I've heard and some of the highlights that I've seen. Tatiana didn't do enough. I'm with you. If she would have completely dominated, I think it would have been tough, and we would have definitely had to wait. But right now, based off of that performance, in my opinion, who else would make a good fight right now with Andrade? Like me and Michelle agree. If Rose wants to rematch, she deserves it for sure.
Right.
But it sounds like Rose wants to hang out and relax for a bit, and we understand that. So who else?
Yep, I agree. Yeah, and that of course is, I guess, the big question in all this. And I thought when Dana was saying that at the post-fight press conference that maybe they were going to try to get her to come back, but by all indications, she wants some time off, and I think she deserves it. That was a scary fall, and some time off I think would be good for the soul. And if they want Andrade to come back quickly, there you are, waiting, ready.
Yeah, we'd be ready. 100%. We'd be up for it, and it wouldn't have to be September, right? We'd get with the coaches right away and make it happen in August, right? But no, I think Andrade too is probably going to want to fight. I'm assuming, September, October, maybe even December. But yeah, no, we're ready to go. If that fight was presented, we'd be ready to go right away.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys clearing the air here today, and I also know you're on vacation, so I appreciate you doing this in the midst of it all. But it was at a good time because it was raining. There's not much to do in Florida when it's raining, so I don't feel as guilty as I originally did. Nonetheless, I do appreciate the time and you guys coming on and clearing the air, and I hope it works out truly in your favor because you guys deserve it.
Thank you. And hey, how about them Raptors?
Yeah.
How about them Raptors? Our boy Sean Menard, he's probably all hyped up right now, right? Of course, he's
loving it right now.
He did the Fight Mom documentary, which is phenomenal. Also, the Carter Effect about Vince Carter. And did you guys ever see that one? Did you guys see that documentary?
I did. We watched it.
It's great, right? It's amazing. I actually watched it last week to remember how far the team has come. So yes, we're gonna do it tonight, guys. We're gonna do it.
Let's go Raptors!
Night, yeah. And then we'll be out there in August, so hopefully we can celebrate with all of you guys.
What are you going to do in August? Here I am with my flag.
We're doing a seminar in Calgary to raise money for a nonprofit MMA program that's put together with Coach Wink and his wife.
We'll have a lot more news coming out here in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, cool. All right. Enjoy your vacation. Again, thank you very much for the time, and good luck getting that fight. We got your back.
Thanks, Ariel.
Thanks, Ariel.
All right, there she is, the karate hottie, Michelle Waterson, her lovely husband, Josh Waterson. And those are my thoughts. I put them down on paper on ESPN.com earlier today. It just didn't seem like she had done enough. Tatiana, I think she's phenomenal. I think she's going to be a future contender. But it didn't exactly wow the crowd. Then you find out about her neck injury and you understand. That being said, Michelle's on a roll. Rose is the big question mark. If she wants to come back, I think she deserves it because of how good she looked. But Michelle is ready to go. Chael P, come back. I wanted to give you this. I'm sorry for making you come back. But a nice man named Brandon made this for us.
Whoa.
He made us this bobblehead.
A talented man.
Yeah, custom made. There's only 3 of these.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, he made this for us, and I thought it would be great to give it to you. And they told me that I could give it to you later in the week, but I'm going to forget.
That's tremendous, and that looks just like us. Can I tell you one quick story?
Please.
Just because you gave me this and I feel like I have to say something?
Yeah.
I ordered a bobblehead of myself or a doll when one was first made. It's a very exciting moment. I ordered it on eBay. It came and I looked at it and go, I look a lot like Dominic Cruz, but I get it. Put it away in my office when it sat out for... About a month later, I'm sitting at my desk, and I look at it across from. It was Dominic Cruz. I ordered the wrong one.
What?
But I thought that it was. You get it.
Yeah.
This looks like. I want Brandon to know this is fantastic and very hard to do.
It's a beautiful thing. Yes, Brandon Everett did it for us.
Do I leave now?
You could leave.
Lee wants a cupcake.
Please, you can take all the cupcake. I felt like she wanted it to begin with, right? Did I read that
All
wrong?
of them. Well, it's not taking them back. She just
Listen,
thought she would enjoy.
I'll
a
take
cupcake.
this, and then all
We
of
have
you.
a 2.5 hour ride. It's a whole big thing.
It was an awkward exchange because I felt like she thought that I was going to give it back, right? Am I wrong?
No, you're totally
Yeah,
wrong.
right?
You're totally wrong.
She just wanted
Taking
it for the
cupcake.
set.
I don't know what she wants, so I'm taking one of each.
Take 4 of each.
Goodbye. I only
All
have
right.
one hand.
Well, Leah, you could come take them too.
To you and to Brandon. Wonderful job and thank you.
All
Goodbye.
right. Okay. Goodbye. Take one of each. Yeah. Do you want more than 2?
No.
Are you sure? What about your mom? What about your father-in-law? All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Oh, good for him. Doesn't eat carbs. I'm going to put mine back here. Enjoy the cupcakes, guys. Now we have a little bit of a hole here on the desk, so I'm going to close the gap. All right. Matter of moments or a matter of seconds. Let's say hello to one of my favorites in the business. We go from one of my other favorites to the man himself, King Lawal, who announced his retirement 7 days ago today. And I said to myself, all right, I know it's 7 days, but we got to have Mom. And this is how big of a deal this is. King Mo, I do believe, has never done my show via Skype. He refuses. I said, King Mo, you retire, you come on via Skype. So thank you for doing it, because I know you didn't want to.
Man, it's all good. I got you.
My man, King Mo. Well, congratulations on a great career, Mo. Why did you retire now?
Man, too many injuries. I can't train the way I want to, and I don't know. I just couldn't. My body wasn't recovering. I just couldn't do it no more, man. And then on top of that, I got the feeling like I saw Roy McDonald do an interview after a fight, stating how he felt like he didn't want to hurt nobody. And I'm like, damn, I feel the same way.
Oh.
Like, it's weird because, man, when I was younger, I was like, man, I'm going to smash this dude. I'm going to hurt him. And then, like, recently, I'm like, you know what? If I can just beat him up and just stop him, I'm going to stop him. But I don't want to hurt nobody. It got to the point where I just didn't want to hurt nobody. That and my body's beat up. And I just old, man. I just want to relax.
So when Rory said that, it really spoke to you.
Yeah. It spoke to me, man. I'm hoping Rory just had a bad day because I think he's a great fighter. And I know he's very young in the sport. I'm hoping he's had a bad day and he's not feeling that way because that's how I feel.
Wow. How long have you been feeling that way for?
About a year and a half.
Wow. So you fought multiple times feeling that way.
Yeah, just it's weird, man. I'm like, man, I want to really hurt nobody. I want to harm nobody, injure nobody. Because really, I was so injured in practice. I was worried about myself getting injured. So I was like, man, you know what? I gotta be smart for myself. And then I started worrying about myself getting injured so much that I was worried about injuring other people as well. So it just got to the point where I was like, you know what? I don't really know if I feel like harming people no more, man. I'm just trying to chill, man, relax, teach, and that's about it.
When you start to feel that way, you've been competing for so long, first in wrestling, now in MMA. Does that kind of play tricks on your mind? You're like, whoa, what are these feelings? This is just a complete shift from how I used to feel.
Yeah, man. I think when you feel like that, it's time to step out of the game because, you're stepping into the cage or the ring or the field or whatever you're doing with somebody that wants to harm you, that wants to knock you out, that wants to break your bones or whatever. You shouldn't be going into the cage or the ring or on the field thinking that you're just going to beat somebody and not harm them as well. The moment that you start feeling like that is the moment you should step out the game. And I started having them thoughts as well as these injuries and my body not healing and coming back as fast. And now I'm like, I've been losing weight, man. Just a bunch of stuff, man. I'm getting old.
Okay.
I'm old, man.
How old are you?
38.
38? Man, you're young. You're 38 years young.
But I've probably had over 40 surgeries.
40?
That's the difference.
40?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
When was the last one?
Yeah. Last one was my minor hip replacement.
When did you have that?
2 years ago. I didn't tell nobody, but I had a Birmingham hip resurfacing. So right now I got metal all in my hip. After the Quentin Jackson fight, I went to LA and had this procedure done. I'm the first combat athlete to come back at a high level, I guess, with this procedure done. So now I have titanium metal steel all in my right hip.
So you have actually fought with this a couple times.
Yeah. about 3 times with it.
Damn. And so how did, like, do you feel different?
Yeah, I feel different. Like, it's weird because if I go any place where it's like 70 or lower, I can feel the metal in my hip.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like when I move, sometimes when I'm running or if I move, I can feel clanking. I hear clanking, metal hit each other in my hip.
Is that just due to wear and tear?
Well, it's just the surgery.
No. I mean, like, why did you have the surgery?
Oh, for wear and tear, man.
Okay.
I was bone on bone. Like when I fought Quentin Jackson, the second time, I had 2 cortisone shots in a week span, and it didn't do nothing.
And then afterwards, you had to have it.
Yeah, because afterwards I went to WrestleMania in Orlando, and it was a great time, but I could barely walk. I was struggling to get around, so that's when I knew. I was like, man, I gotta get the surgery done. I'm gonna retire. And when I got the surgery done, I felt good, but I could feel the metal. It's weird. I could feel metal in my hip, man, when I move. It's weird, but you know what? It's better than what I had before.
So your last fight was in late April for Ryzen. When you left that night, did you know that was it for you?
You know what? Yeah, maybe. I was up in the air, but I was like, you know what? That might be it because I can't jog. I can't do sprints. I can't jump. A lot of my athletic ability I had went away after the knee surgery, and the hip surgeries, and the staph infection. So it's just a lot of stuff that started adding up, man. And I can't train the way I want to no more. So it's a lot of things, man. So I just felt like it's time for me to step away from the game.
Okay, and you leave with regrets?
No, man. The fight game is a fight game, man. If we all have regrets, and we all, but at the same time, like I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like my time is over with. Now it's just time for me to help others get farther than where I got.
Do you regret the fact that you never got to fight in the UFC?
Nah, because my main goal, you get all my interviews. I always said my main goal is to go out there, have fun, be a champion, and get paid. I was never stuck on no UFC, no Strikeforce. I just want to come and just have a good time and get paid and have fun, man. And I want to give a quick shout out to the Raw team, because the Raw team, Rico Chiapparelli, Frank Trigg, Dan Henderson, Vladimir Matyshenko, Randy Couture, Matt Lindland. Those are the guys I looked up to. The Hammer House, them 2 teams, kind of maybe more interested in jumping into NHB at the time, No Holds Barred. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them because they don't get enough respect. They don't get talked about enough because they were the first true wave of world-class wrestlers that stepped foot into the cage.
Right. Amen to that. 100%. But so you mentioned you don't have that same desire to hurt someone, but it sounds like you're going to stay in the sport, involved in the sport as a coach, and you're essentially teaching other people how to hurt other people. So how do you juggle that?
Well, look, it's cool. Look, I can teach you how to harm somebody. And if you do it, I'm cool. But it's just me. I'm not cool with doing it myself. I'm not about to hurt nobody. I think all the fighting me is gone. All the competition, like all the wrestling, all the harm, it's not in me no more. I'm just chilling now, man. That's about it. Chilling, watching film, watching these fights, and I want to see what the future can do with the American Top Team. I want to see the youth of American Top Team come, take this MMA game to a whole different level.
So
that's what I want to see.
You're going to remain as a coach at ATT in South Florida?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, wow. You're going to be a phenomenal coach. You're one of the smartest guys I've ever met in this sport. I think this is perfect for you.
Thanks. But right now, I'm behind a few geniuses. We had Coach Conan.
Yeah.
And Dean, man, people, Mike Brown, Dean, Steve Mocco. We have a highly, I think we have the best coaching staff in MMA. And at the same time, I feel like we're underrated.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. I think Mike Brown has turned into one of the best coaches in the game. The other guys that you mentioned, Dean Thomas, Steve Mocco, is phenomenal. I saw him, a picture with him and Dustin Poirier recently. That's huge for Dustin to have Mocco by his side. You as well now in the mix. It's incredible. And so Have you already started working with anyone there? Any young guys, any young females, anyone that you're really excited about? Have you already started to forge those relationships, coach, student?
I've been forging them like for over the past 2 years.
Okay.
I have fighters I work with. I just don't reveal the names. Some are high level, some are low level. I just don't, because when it comes down to it, as a coach with me, it's more about the fighters. So like if anything, if the fighters mention that Mo's working with them or I'm working with them, that's cool. But for me, for the most part, I'm not gonna mention any names unless the fighters mention my name first.
Okay.
You know, that's how I leave it like that.
And will this be your full-time job?
For right now, yeah. You know, I enjoy being at the gym. I enjoy watching these guys work. So right now, my full-time job is coach the American top team.
Okay, I love it. You look back at your career, so many great moments. There's one that comes to mind for me, but I'm wondering for you, is there one moment that sticks out, your favorite moment, the happiest that you ever were?
Not happiest, but I'll tell you this, man. Like one moment, Ariel.
Okay.
After I win the belt.
Yes.
After I win the belt, we talked. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I won the belt, it was bittersweet because even though I won it, I really didn't care. Like my main dream was to win the Olympics, man. And when I think about that makes me sad because I came up short in that. That was my biggest dream, be an Olympic champion. And I became a world champion in MMA, but I felt like I wanted more in amateur wrestling.
You're talking about the moment in Nashville after you beat Gegard Mousasi, correct? And you were lying down. I can't believe that you're saying that that's your favorite moment.
That's one of my moments, yeah, because that's when I realized really like MMA is just it's short-term make-believe in a sense. It's not your real life. It's what you do to push yourself and to challenge yourself, but when it's all said and done, it's all said and done. It's not your real life. It's just fantasy.
So that might be my favorite post-fight interview ever. I wish I showed the clip here. I posted the clip a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you saw it. You were lying down and you were very emotional. Casey and I were in the back in Nashville. I'll never forget that because we didn't often get to go in the back to interview the fighters right after, and you could tell how much the moment meant to you, and you said that you were always second place and you never got that big one. I'll never forget that for as long as I live. I'm so grateful that you let us have that moment and let us be a part of that. So I'm kind of blown away that you even remember it, to be honest.
Yeah, I remember a lot. Man, Ariel, remember in Ohio? When I said, Ariel Helwani ain't here, so he ain't seen a real press conference. Because it's true, man. I feel like right now, I like the way MMA media is gone, because I feel like, I just feel like right now it seems stronger than ever. I like what's going on with MMA media. I like it. I feel like there's more knowledge in it as well, too. So, I don't know, the way things are going, I like the way things are going right now for the MMA media. You know what I'm saying? It's looking sharp.
Great. I'm glad to hear that. Are you still watching wrestling these days?
Man, you got AEW.
That's
you see John Moxley?
I saw.
You see John Moxley? Come on, man. Look. AEW. I don't watch WWE no more. Granted, they have great athletes, but Ring of Honor, Impact, and AEW is where it's at.
What about New Japan?
New Japan, yeah, but I consider New Japan, Ring of Honor.
Okay.
They're all in the same. Yeah, they all work together. You know, AAA. They're all in the same mix.
You actually watch Impact for real?
Well, you know, I watch some of the matches. You know, I know people are in it. You know, like Willie Mack. You know what I'm saying? I tune in to watch some matches. You know what I'm saying? But
okay.
I really don't. It's hard to catch it. You know, so I just watch the matches on YouTube.
How do you think your boy Kane is going to do in AAA?
I wonder where Kane went to wrestling school at. I think he'll be all right though, because Kane listens.
Yeah.
If he had a good coach to show him the ropes and show him how the rules and regulations and stuff, he'll be all right, man. You see what Ronda did. Ronda's doing the thing. Matt Riddle's doing the thing. Shayna Baszler. You see the 4 horsewomen. I feel like now's the time for a lot of MMA fighters to jump into pro wrestling and do something.
Cyborg was at the AEW show. Did you see that?
Yeah, I seen Cyborg tweeting AEW. If I were AEW, they need to go ahead and put Cyborg with Austin Kong and have a tag team.
Oh yeah.
Ain't nobody beating two.
No, so when I asked you about maybe some regrets, like, are you regretful over the fact that the wrestling career didn't work out for you?
Well, Well, you know what? I still do independent shows. I got a match in 2 weeks. With Blueprint Wrestling.
Really?
I still do booking. Yeah, I do matches. You know, shout out to CCW. I've been with Pablo out there in Fort Lauderdale, going to his school, just getting my feet wet again, just cleaning up on stuff. Yeah, but I'm gonna my goal is to be a jobber at least once or twice to AEW.
Really?
I'll take a super kick. Yeah, I'll take a super kick. You know, Hangman Page while clothes on me. Hey, whatever, man. Hey, AEW, if you're watching, I'll be the Black Brooklyn Brawler.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I was going to say Brooklyn Brawler, Iron Mike Sharp, Barry Horowitz, like one of those jobbers, but the ones that come up from time to time.
Cat Weasel from England, Cat Weasel. You know,
yes.
Cat Weasel type thing. Yeah, Rip Rogers. Shout out to Rip Rogers, too. My old wrestling coach, Rip Rogers, out there at the OBW. Shout out to OBW.
Oh, my gosh. Could you? But I feel like you're too famous to be that guy. Like it's too big of a deal for you to show up. You're not just some random schmo.
No, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? I change it up. Oh, as a matter of fact, it's a new wrestler I want you to watch.
Okay.
Orange Cassidy.
Okay.
Keep him. Love him. It's a different style. It's a different style of wrestling.
Okay.
But it's pretty. He can work. It's pretty funny. Orange Cassidy.
Now, you're watching.
AEW.
You're watching more wrestling than MMA these days, I feel like.
Yeah. I watch both. I watch them all.
Okay.
Even MMA, pro wrestling, boxing. I'm watching it all.
Yeah, my guy Andy Ruiz. You saw that, right?
Yeah, I watched Andrew. It's crazy. Andy Ruiz, I covered him years ago when he fought Elijah McCall, Alvin McCall's son.
Oh.
I watched him at the New Orleans a top rank card. I watched him, and I'm like, this guy is special. And I watched him beat Joe Hanks the next fight, and I thought he beat Joseph Parker in New Zealand, and I thought this fight with Anthony Joshua was tough because Anthony Joshua doesn't move his feet enough. To beat Andrew Ruiz, you have to move your feet. Like it'd be like Tyson Fury. Because Andrew Ruiz, I think him, Canelo, and Joseph Benavidez, all Mexican, those are the best combinations in boxing right now. And you're seeing that.
Wait, Joseph Benavidez?
I mean, David Benavidez.
Yeah.
David Benavidez.
I was like, wait, one of these guys is not like the other.
Shout out to Joseph Benavidez. He fight too. David Benavidez. He has some hands. People need to watch him.
Mo, you're the man. I could talk fighting with you all day, but unfortunately we're out of time. I really appreciate you doing this, Mo, especially doing it on Skype. Because why are you so camera shy? You never like to do it on Skype.
I don't know. I just like, I don't know. It's fast. Just call, and then hang up. That's it.
Did you actually download Skype just for us?
I downloaded Skype. Yeah,
wow.
I downloaded Skype like last night. Yeah.
This is one of the great honors of my life right here, that King Mo actually downloaded Skype just for us. That's amazing. I got to say, man, when you came out back in the day, Sengoku, with the umbrella and the girls and all that stuff, like you brought showmanship to this game. You brought fun to this game. I remember Team Thirsty, GDP, all that stuff and more. The crown. I mean, look at Cejudo. Cejudo's doing what you were doing 10 years ago, my man. You were doing that exact same thing. He's taking a page out of your playbook. And so I hope the game remembers you and treats you well and that you can impart some of that knowledge, what you did in the cage, but also what you did out of the cage to get people to care about you, to some of these new fighters that you're working with at ATT, the younger fighters. And you were always so good to me. I'll never forget when you said that. I was working for Fox for 1 week when you said that, and they were all like, this fighter just said something about you at the press conference. You made me seem like the coolest guy in the world. And I'll never forget that. So thank you, Mo. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything, my man. Congratulations on a great career, a great run. You have nothing to be, regretful about. You've had an amazing run, and I hope that you have a great career as a coach. I have no doubt you'll, and you should be a media guy as well. You've always been that good, so I hope you get to do more of this stuff as well too.
I hope I get a chance, man. Thanks.
All right, Mo, we'll talk to you soon. All the best to you, and congratulations again. There's my guy, King Mo Lawal. Rap is crap. Remember that? Rap is crap. All right, let me get my other ad read here. Oh my gosh, the music is playing. There's just too many papers, Corporate Jake. Why do you have to give me all these papers? Not this paper, not this paper, this paper. Oh, I'm excited about this. Our good friends over at Vivid Seats. I love these guys. As you look at the resume, the great resume of the one and only King Mo Lawal. Vivid Seats actually was the title sponsor of our show, the Helwani Roadshow, on Friday in Chicago. And it was a beautiful thing. And I really support them. And I'll never forget them. Thank you so much. As you know, we all love a night out, whether it's seeing our favorite band in person or being there in the crowd to cheer on our favorite team like your Toronto Raptors. In fact, my brother just texted me, is it true KD is playing? Woj, drop the bomb that KD is playing? We're not afraid. You think that the ghost of KD past is going to scare us? And yes, I said us. And yes, in a month, I'll be all about KD, maybe even tomorrow. But for now, we're not afraid. What's he going to do? What's he going to do to Fred VanVleet? What's he going to do to Serge Ibaka? What's he going to do to Marc Gasol? What's he going to do to Pascal Siakam? What's he going to do to all these guys? Nothing. That's what he's going to do, nothing. Anyway, if you want to go to the game tonight, Game 5, check out Vivid Seats. You can see the Toronto Raptors hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Tickets are sold out, of course, but if you go to Vivid Seats, you could attend the game tonight. And guess what? You could do so at a great price. Vivid Seats is the top source for tickets for all the live events you want to go to. You can sort by price or look for seats in the section and row of your choice. To make things even better, Vivid Seats is giving listeners an exclusive promo code for new customers to receive 10% off your first ticket order to save even more money. Go to the App Store or Google Play right now and download the Vivid Seats app. First-time customers can use promo code KNOCKOUT for 10% off your first Vivid Seats order. I've been talking too long. Oh, you played it again? Wow. That's a good job. Who did that? Let's give him a shout out. That's Jay. Jay's the best. He's leaving us soon, but he's the best. Anyway, every purchase is backed by 100% buyer guarantee, from the biggest concerts and games to the hottest theater and more. Vivid Seats has it all. Download the app and enter the promo code KNOCKOUT for 10% off your first order on Vivid Seats. Make a memory that lasts a lifetime and let Vivid Seats help you get to your favorite live event. Again, thank you very much to them for supporting our show, and that's why you should support them, because they support us. Do we have our next guest? All right. Making his Helwani show debut. Yeah, the win on Saturday was great, but this is the real main event. Calvin Kattar joins us right now on the program for the first time. Let's say hello to Calvin. Calvin, how are you?
I'm doing good, Ariel. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Congratulations on the win. Are you still in Chicago as well?
Yeah, I'm here till Tuesday.
What are you doing over there for so long?
I had a lot on the list that I wanted to do, but you never really know how things are going to play out. You have a good idea, but I pushed my flight back till Tuesday so I could hit Wrigley Field yesterday. Hit the hot dog spots around here, the deep dish spots. I got a whole crew, so they've been writing reviews all week to help me get it all in by Tuesday.
Have you had any of the pizza yet?
I have. Lou Malnati seems to be in the lead. It's the front runner as of now. How about you?
I didn't have pizza this time around, but I did have Lou Malnati's in the past. It's very deep. It's very thick, the pizza. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest.
Yeah, man, more than a couple slices, you're probably hurting. But
Yes.
That's something you can't really admit when you visit Chicago. You always got to tell me you had a deep dish.
How many
Or else
times?
I feel like they take offense to it.
They do. They're very sensitive about it. How many trips to the pizza places did you go to this time? So far?
That I can't tell you. that I can't tell you. But last trip in Moncton, they had us leaving at like 7 a.m., 8 a.m. the next morning. Me and Font both got held up in Montreal, missed our flights.
Oh.
It's tough, man, to leave on a Sunday morning after those events. Usually I have family, friends fly in from all over. You want to spend some time with them. Before you know it, you're hitting 4 or 5 a.m. at the earliest, and now you got to pack up and leave in 2 hours after getting in a fist fight where you might have some dings and bruises, you know?
Right. No, it's good. You're taking some time off, and I appreciate you doing this in the midst of your time off. By the way, I want to give a shout out. I don't know who they are, but two, I guess, of your friends cornered me in the hotel on Thursday afternoon. Do you know about this? And they said, yo, when are we going to get Calvin on the show? And then I said, well, how about if he wins? And they said, all right, it's a deal. So I just want to let the record show that I'm a man of my word.
Yeah, I can't confirm or deny that, but I'll make a call and make sure we take off the hound dogs.
All right. I appreciate it because, I have to say, they were a little intimidating.
Yeah, you know how it gets sometimes out here in Boston, man. They don't. If you say you're going to do something, you don't do it.
Yes.
They might fine you for not doing it, but no, that's cool, man. They say you're a good sport. I got to be honest, too. I had a little chip on my shoulder. You still haven't interviewed me yet, and I'm always looking for ways to get a chip on my shoulder. And I wonder if I got your respect yet, that maybe you're going to interview me next time.
Well, here you are. You're on my show. What better than this?
Well, it's not. Hey, it's not just you. It's not just you. If you know at the media day, I'm enjoying it because in my head, I'm telling myself, best case, I'm going to knock this guy out. These future media scrums, I'm not going to be able to sit down and actually enjoy my lunch like I did. So I actually found a lot of enjoyment in chilling out, relaxing, not having my hands full with a bunch of them, but at the same time feeling like that won't be like that in the near future.
Okay, so you know what? I'm happy that you said this, Calvin. I truly am. And let's be honest here, because I've tried to tell the people around me that, look, I feel like I need to talk to everyone at Media Day because people take it personally when I don't. Like, you saw me at Media Day. I didn't have time to talk to you, and you said, be honest, you said F that guy, right? You said screw that guy.
I say it to everybody. I say it to everybody. You have the time it comes out in the form of "Have a nice day," but yeah, no, it's it was good, man. Any reason to get a chip, like I said, but it's great to be talking to you now. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Okay, cool. By the
long
way,
long overdue, but we're here now.
My bad. Here I am. I'm making amends. Are you a Bruins fan as well?
Hell yeah, baby! Game 7.
Wow.
I need to get my ass in one of them suites, but I don't got it like Connor yet. But
I know.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, maybe Uncle Dana can hook you up. Your two Boston guys, maybe he can hook you up. Did you ask him?
Shit, that could be my bonus that I didn't get the other night. But
wow.
Yeah. But being able to fight, like I said, for the UFC off the renegotiation, they're taking care of me down there, and I couldn't be happier to fight for anybody else in best organization in the world.
Wow, Calvin's got a few chips on his shoulder. I like it. I respect it.
Yeah, man. You should see someone step on my shoe outside, bump into me later.
Okay.
Any way you can, man. Look at Tom Brady getting 6 Super Bowl rings. They asked him what's his favorite. He said the next one. How's that guy not complacent by now? He's won everything.
Right. That's a good point. So did you recently resign?
I did before the last fight, thankfully. So after the Fishgold fight, I earned my contract. I got a 4-fight deal. And what a way to start off the first fight of the 4-fight contract.
Incredible. Yeah, you walked in there, and what I loved about a great performance against a veteran, a Chicago guy. The place went so quiet afterwards. Did you notice that? Did you? I'm sure you loved that.
Honestly, what I noticed more than the silence afterwards was how loud it got when they announced them. And it was great, man. I was just like, you know what? This is what I want to be a part of, whether it's the A side or the B side.
Right.
I want to bring fans out of their seats and putting on a good show for them all. So I felt like we did that, and I couldn't have done it without a guy like Ricardo to fill that stadium and get the energy going in the room for me to then silence it.
Beautiful finish as well, the left hook and then the right. And you said something afterwards about how it seemed to me, and correct me if I misinterpreted this, that you feel like, for the most part, like the boxing in MMA, the boxing in UFC is sort of elementary, and that you've been doing this for a long time, and you're doing stuff that isn't, super complex, but you're just really crisp on your feet, and now you're able to show it off. Is that what you were trying to say, that you're just a better boxer than a lot of these guys? And even with just like, the basics, because a lot of these MMA fighters don't focus on boxing or don't have that knowledge going into the game?
Well, I'd say basics always win fights, and anything you're really doing, it's all about the basics and repetition and consistency of them. And I wouldn't say these guys are elementary in the boxing, and if they are, the ones that are, I think that's just because they're choosing to stay at that level. There are guys that in the division that have great hands that could probably be very successful at boxing and probably take out a lot of boxers, But at the highest in the level, they are different sports. I always compare it to like running, There's a sprinter and there's a marathon runner. They both run, but it's just different sports, But I think there's a happy medium when you talk boxing and MMA, that I don't think that these MMA guys are really just getting in work with the boxers, the guys that punch the best. They wrestle with the wrestlers, they do jiu-jitsu with the jiu-jitsu guys, but then they do some stand-up with, maybe kickboxing style. I feel like due to my experience with the boxing, I felt like I'm able to deal with some of the harder shots or, taking or giving, ideally giving. But, just extra rounds, man. And there's no way around it. You got to get the rounds in, and I feel like that's a big advantage I have against these guys.
So you had a 10-fight winning streak, and then you met Renato Moicano last April, dropped that one, and since then, 2 finishes. Did that loss change anything in you? How did you react to that?
Just, they pissed me off, man. I definitely hate to lose more, and I love to win, and that definitely made me experience those feelings again. And I'm happy to get that taste out of my mouth. The last 2 fights, the renegotiation was huge, especially after my first L in a long time, and I was 2-1 now at the UFC. I felt like that would have been closing the chapter of the UFC in my book a little too soon, and I didn't want to let that go. So that was pretty amazing itself. But After that fight, really what I took from the fight was when Kano lost to Brian Ortega. Look now where he is. He's headlining the card against the Korean Zombie. Shane Burgos took an L to me. He was ranked higher than me 2 days ago. After his big win with Cub Swanson. So the L's don't define you. It's how you react after. And I feel like we've bounced back strong as well. And we're climbing to the top. And it should be make for an interesting finish line.
You mentioned something in the post-fight interview that I wanted to ask you about. You talked about a friend of yours who passed away last year, and you were giving people some advice about speaking up if they were going through any personal issues. Could you tell us a little more about what happened?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. His name's Joel Gigliotti. He was growing up, my best buddy, and just last month we lost him, and it just hit home a little bit more. Like I said, I take a chip on everything. A chip on my shoulder to everything, because day in and day out you deal with way worse shit than anything they can throw at you in the octagon, and it's how you deal with that matters day in, day out. And this shit happens all camp, man. Every camp there's some new shit, real life shit that can break you if you don't respond to it right. So with Joel, I'm finally able to kind of process it more. I had my shield on all camp, but I wanted to earn the opportunity to grab the mic after and just express that, and it felt great to have that opportunity to say it, and just saying his story. Just if you're going through addiction or you're struggling, make the tough decision and seek help, because it's not it's your family and friends that are carrying the weight of your grief. So now we'll be seeing him one day soon, but until then, man, I'm gonna put it on all these featherweights, and I know he'll be in my corner.
Was that something that you were planning on doing, or did it just occur to you in that moment?
No, I planned to. I wanted to. It meant a lot to me to have that opportunity, but you only get the mic when you win, right? So first things first, I had to handle business, and I found a lot of ways to get chips on my shoulder all week, and we were able to get the job done and earn the opportunity to pay him his respects and his due on ESPN. Nothing's better than that, man. And from my mom, she's been there in my corner since day one, and I was happy to just have a checkpoint, a small little brief checkpoint, knowing that, hey, we're on ESPN, baby. We're climbing.
Yeah. I noticed you mentioned then you also wanted to see your highlight on SportsCenter, and I think you got that check mark as well, correct?
Hell yeah. Da-da-da, da-da-da.
That's amazing.
I've been waiting to hear that since I was a kid, man. It was awesome. It was really surreal. Chicago's been great all week. Everything felt great. Kind of weird, and it's always weird when that happens, but it's feeling more calm in there. I must have yawned 200 times out back. I'm like, well, man, when you wake up, you got to get in a fist fight right now. I don't know. I'm a little bit more relaxed in there. Not to say I take anybody or the opportunities light, but I'm feeling more comfortable, man, and it's a good feeling. And competition stepping up, pace stepping up, and risk and reward, baby. It's all climbing. I'm excited. It's a great opportunity that I have in front of me.
Is it possible that the loss maybe made you comfortable, took a little pressure off of you?
It could be fair to say that, I always put a lot of pressure on myself every time I step in there, and really for a lot of weird reasons. Sometimes it could just be I know all the people that are supporting me and watching the fight right now, and I want us all to come up and win. I picture being at the place that's watching my fight, sitting at the table, my night depended on it, from, whatever, supporting the fight, and me just killing the party at like 12 at night. I'm like, no, man, I want to keep that shit going. I want these guys in, but I want them popping bottles all over Methuen, all over, wherever I'm at, Boston City, everything. So I like to keep the night going, man, and this has been a fun run. I'm excited to be on it, and Team Cater, Catermania coming with me every stop, and it's been an awesome experience, especially since, like I was saying, it seems like everybody, all they get together for these days is weddings and funerals, and this is just another opportunity for really come together and have a hell of a week, man. Everyone comes fight week and supports.
Who do you want next?
It's a great question, man. It's really nice to not give a shit. I don't care who it is, but someone above me for sure. I hear they're coming to Boston, sometime in the fall. I'd love to headline it. And in order to headline a card, I don't think you really pick opponents. So they tell me who I got to fight to get on that headline spot, and let's do it. I can't wait.
Okay, so no name jumps.
I don't know if this is ESPN. They still got me not wanting to swear, man.
No, it's all good. It's all good. We're a little digital.
I can't fucking wait.
But no name comes to mind?
No, man, whoever's available. Honestly, I let Tyson deal with all that shit. I come in, train hard. My number one priority right now, honestly, is Rob Font in South Carolina, less than 2 weeks. He's going to do work. We're going to, enjoy ourselves a little bit, be over there in International Fight Week, and then get back to work for hopefully a TD Boston Garden card.
Can you put in a good word for me with Rob Font? I feel like Rob Font doesn't like me. I asked him a question one time and he shut me down. What's up with all you guys? Is it because I'm from Montreal and you guys are from Boston? You don't like me? What's the problem here?
Man. No, sometimes I don't think Rob likes me either, man.
Okay.
But that's just the culture, man. It's real competitive and we push each other to the limits, and that's my road dog, man. But I'll put in the work, bro. I'll talk to some people, see what we can do, man. Since you got me on the show, I'll do a solid for you.
I appreciate it. Well, congratulations. Enjoy Chicago. Don't have too much pizza because maybe they'll call your number sooner rather than later. So just a couple more.
You see these buttons?
Yeah. I see them. They're hanging on. But you're looking great, my man. Enjoy the win. Enjoy the town. And good luck to the Bruins in Game 7. I have to say, I don't feel like the city of Boston needs another championship. So I will say I'm rooting against you guys, but good luck to you nonetheless.
Well, hey, I'd say thanks if we needed the luck.
Game
7, baby. Bruins all day.
I love it.
Thanks, Ariel.
All right. Take care. Calvin Kattar, big win for him on Saturday against Ricardo Lamas. And shout out to Big Papi, David Ortiz, who apparently is going through some issues right now after being shot in the leg in the Dominican Republic. Just a couple of days ago, a very scary situation. But the last report that I read was that he is doing okay and that the surgery went well. So big ups to Big Papi, David Ortiz. All right. So that is Calvin Kattar's story. Big win for him on Saturday. In a matter of moments, we're going to talk to Marlon Moraes' head coach, Mark Henry, who, of course, was in Marlon's corner on Saturday for that main event fight against Henry Cejudo. Later in the program, we will talk to Henry Cejudo. Do we have Mark? Or no? Okay, no problem. No problem. Corporate Jake really cracking the whip. Shout out to the Chicago police, a gentleman who is a member of the police force, attended the event on Friday, the Helwani Roadshow, and asked me if I could represent the Chicago policemen, and I'm very proud to do so. So there it is, right over there. Thank you very much to that gentleman. I don't recall his name. In fact, I had my T-shirts are over there. Let me see. Oh, he's there? All right, forget that. We could grab that after. If you don't mind bringing my bag over there. But for now, let us say hello to our next guest. He is the head coach for Marlon Moraes. He was in Marlon's corner on Saturday. He's kind enough to join us. Mark Henry joining us on the phone. Mark, how are you?
So. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay, and I appreciate you doing this very much, especially after the loss. This is a tough one for you, right?
One of the toughest, man. Marlon is one of my closest friends, and it's 8 years of when we first met each other, and just having this dream and knowing this, such a massive dream for himself and for his family, for his country, and 8 years ago, you knew, it was just when he got his shot. So, it's crushing today, and I know we'll all pick ourselves up, and I know he'll have another title shot and get on that streak that he had before. But for today, it just sucks.
How's he handling it?
Like anybody, I think anybody like him would, who's like a, phenomenal fighter and a man with dreams and aspirations, and he's not too happy.
You, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were very confident going into this fight, correct?
One of the most confident I've ever been. I've been, title fights with Frankie, and he's always going against so much, like with the height and the weight and the range, and I just thought that Marlon, was superior, in a lot of aspects, with speed and power, and he has that Jose Aldo type wrestling defense. So I got to say I had a ton of confidence going in, and camp was just going perfect, he had great sparring partners, and now in the last 8 years, and cause you just can't say 3 months, and how he was gradually getting better and better and better. And these last 4 fights, it wasn't just the last 3 fights of him knocking people out. It was the camps as well. He was just doing so many things so much better. And I just probably one of the most confident I've ever been, not for a title fight, but a fight period.
first round went really well, correct? Like, I'm assuming you were really happy after that first round.
Yeah, I was really happy. I was a little nervous at the end. You could hear us all yelling at the end. I was yelling to Ricardo. I'm like, man, he's gonna gas. We got to be careful because he's loading up a ton of head kicks, and every right leg kick was so hard, and you could hear us all. I think you could hear me, Ricardo, and Anderson screaming, "Calma, calma, calma," which means calm down, because he was throwing so hard, and so we were a little worried that he was throwing everything with bad intentions.
One thing that I worried about as I was watching that, because it did seem like he was getting tired and as you said, loading up and trying to hit Henry with everything he had. He's a very powerful guy, but it did seem like he was starting to slow down a little bit. Did he really dislike Henry that much to the point where he was not kind of sticking with the game plan and was just trying to finish the guy because he felt a certain way about him? It was clear that he did not like him from the moment this fight was announced. Were you worried about him fighting too emotionally?
No, because I wasn't, because he had beef with another fighter in the past, and it worked in his advantage. So that's why it wasn't really talked about, because I knew that it worked to his advantage the last time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What did you tell him?
That aggression, I thought would maybe work out well for him, because it had before.
What did you tell him in between the first and second round, and do you feel like he strayed away from the game plan in the second and third?
Yeah, I believe that it doesn't matter what the game plan was, and I really think that he'll get this fight again. So I don't want to go dwell too deep into it, but we thought he was doing well. We just wanted him to calm down a little bit, but what he was doing was how he kind of envisioned things going. So we thought the first was going very well, and and the first round too, when Henry always, every fight I see him, he tries to bring pressure. So we knew he was going to try to bring pressure. We even had guys that were trying to bring pressure on him during camp. And when he was bringing pressure, Marlon was throwing 3-punch combinations, throwing them from different angles underneath, and so on and so forth. And we thought that would have helped, and it did. It backed him off. Not only did the kicks kind of have Henry on his wheels, but that fast combination that he threw so fast at him backed him off also. So we wanted a little more than that, as opposed to trying to defend hands with the Muay Thai style, like shelled up, as opposed to just keeping distant and keep movement like you've seen Marlon in his other fights.
Did anything that Henry did in the fight surprise you?
No, not at all. He fights with pressure all the time, so not at all. He leads with his right hand a lot, so absolutely nothing. The only thing that surprised me was, how Henry was able to still come forward after getting right leg kicked, and after he felt Marlon, coming in with the speed and power. I was beyond impressed of, I give him all the credit in the world, even so much so, I'll call him Triple C myself, I'll be the first one to say it, and, he definitely, in my eyes, I don't know about other people's, but in my eyes, going through Marlon and being able to go through the second round and having the nerve to just say, hey, I'm just going to go. And, I give him, that's Olympic tile championship stuff right there, man. That most guys won't do. And he has enough nerve and cojones to, to do it. And he went into the fight with a messed up ankle. I give him, all the credit in the world. And like I said, I see him too as a Triple C myself.
Did you guys hear the rumors late last week that he was hurt, that he injured himself? And if so, did that adjust anything that you tried to do in the fight?
No, the only thing that, we did hear, like we heard some yelling or something. We were in the adjoined workout room. We heard them yell a little bit.
You guys were there?
And then his coach. Yeah, we were working out Tuesday night.
Wow.
And he was working out Tuesday night at the same time. So we heard some yelling, and then his coach was acting on. Then I went down to get a bottle of water, and I was talking to Gray Maynard, which was great. One of the only good highlights of my thing. We were talking for a bit, and his coach was outside screaming or something. I don't know what was up. So then one of guys on our team, said that maybe he got hurt. He said that the yell was kind of weird. And I'm like, he's got to be crazy. And then all of a sudden I saw somebody tweet it like the next day. I was like, wow, maybe one of our coaches was right. And no, but the only thing we said is, okay, when he goes southpaw, let's take advantage, and kick him. That was about it.
One of the interesting storylines heading into this fight was the fact that both guys are managed by Ali Abdelaziz. He wasn't there, correct? He was not at the fight in Chicago?
Yeah. Yeah, he chose not to go, because he did both guys. And the one thing I got to say about Ali, is every guy that he has, he really loves them. He loves, he gets to know their families, their whole team. Ali, that's what Ali's in this for the brotherhood. I think that's why Ali does so well in his career, is because, the things that he does, other managers don't. So he chose not to come. We told him we definitely didn't care if he came. We're happy when he has other guys. It's making money for himself and his family. So we had no problem with it at all. But he chose not to come.
If I can I just say that, people keep asking me about, and I saw Marlon at the airport on Sunday, and the first thing he wanted to talk to me about was this thing with Ali. And maybe you can provide some insight. I don't understand what happened. I know Ali's somewhat of a polarizing figure in this sport. I don't understand what happened between us. A couple tweets escalates, and then all of a sudden, a relationship that we sort of built over 10 years is finished. I've actually reached out to him, sent him text messages. I don't think he has my number anymore or blocked me because they're not going through. But I'm confused by all this, and I feel bad about it all because, to be honest, Ali's been very good to me, and, he's given me a lot over the years and access to his guys, and I think I've equally been good to him on the show and to his fighters as well. And I would love to figure out a way that we could just sort of move on from all this. Can you give me any advice? Can you help me out here, Mark? Because I'm sorry. It's we don't all have to be best friends, but I'm sorry it's kind of ended up this way. Life is too short for this kind of nonsense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah, I 100% agree. And I know that Ali's an amazing dude, and we've known you, especially being from the East Coast, and I've known you myself alone for 11 years. So and man, there's nothing more than I want than you guys to get along. And man, I can't really tell you what happened. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys flung some texts around, but I don't know. I really wasn't, when you guys were texting back and forth, I really didn't know what was going on. I know something about your basketball thing or something. I don't even really know
silly stuff.
Details.
And
I'm sure you didn't mean it.
No, of course not. Honestly, when I sent that the last tweet that I sent to him about hanging out with his guys and things like that, I actually thought it was a pretty stupid one, and it was at 1 a.m. and I thought that people would make fun of me because it was so unimaginative. And then of course it blew up into a certain thing. But I was like, this is the dumbest tweet I've ever sent. This is not even that funny. In response to his tweet. And then I just kind of went to bed and woke up and I was like, oh wow, I guess people took this a different way. But of course I don't think he pays his guy. I mean, come on, I'm not a dummy. It's just, the whole thing is just crazy.
I know from firsthand too. Like, I've been around Ali. I've been in a workout room. He's subbed many a black belt. Many good black belt. I'm not going to say names, but Ali is a beast.
You can name names. It's okay.
I'm not naming names, but Ali, sparring wise and jiu-jitsu wise and just working out wise, I've seen him do amazing. So I definitely know it's not bull crud. I know it's not. I know that.
Yes, come on.
He does very well. Yeah.
Listen,
he does very well against other guys too.
Here's the one thing I'll say, and I've said it even before all of this. He deserves a lot of credit. His guys are getting title shots. You got to do that by any means necessary. You got to do what's best for your guys. And the proof is in the pudding, in the sense that I do believe there's only one guy that's left him, RDA. Well, Derek Brunson left him but came back. But in the history of his time as a manager, I think that says a lot, the fact that only one guy's left him. And he's talked about RDA on the show and the fact that they're still friends. So I think, regardless of what you may think about the guy, and I'll say it, look, he does good for his clients. He doesn't have to be friends with me. He doesn't have to be friends with the media or anything like that. And so clearly I can't speak to him. Just tell him, let's drop this once and for all. You know, I regret sending the tweets. Let's figure this out. No more. I don't want this. Life is too short, and let's just all move on from all of this. Can you pass that message for me, please?
Definitely. I tell you, man, I'd love for you to hit up a show, and I tell you, people, Ali says stuff, and people may think it's off the wall or whatnot, but he does everything he does it for the love of his fighters, and I wish people knew his story, because we knew Ali before he was a manager. And this guy, he doesn't have like a Harvard education. He came to this country not knowing English. He didn't start off with, he didn't have even a background in being a manager. Most guys are managers for a long time in a great, in a great organization or a great company, shall I say, and they learn from that. I mean, Ali learned everything on his own, and he didn't start off with like 20 different agents. He started off by himself, busting his butt, and started off with, as a Renzo Gracie guy, taking Renzo's guys, Renzo and Gregor Gracie, Halls, Igor, Ricardo, Frankie, and what he's done is incredible, and he did it all off of the love of his guys. And not taking money so many times, and not charging for ridiculous things, and taking losses on money. And I know for a fact, telling some people don't worry about the money, when they won their fight, and say, no, I know you're going through a rough time. And I know people he's let borrow money, you know what I'm saying? Fighters who, who were in rough times. So, I would love if you guys did a show, a serious one, because he's always trying to promote his fighters and stuff, and trying to help them out. Like, I wish people really knew the real Ali and what he started from, because I think it's an amazing story, and what he's accomplished is Conner-esque. You know what I'm saying? Of how this guy came to America, not knowing English, not knowing anything, and what he's accomplished, even so much so that he gets into the practice with these guys and spills blood with them. You know what I'm saying? It is amazing.
Well, one of your guys, Frankie Edgar, getting the title shot July 27th against Max Holloway. Do you feel like this is, like, you guys Frankie clearly is in a good place. He's had some time off. Do you feel like we got to win this one because this could be our last shot at a belt?
I gotta honestly say no, because he's just fighting on top. I don't other people see it because they see the long stretch of his history and whatnot, and how many years he's been in the game. But I look at him, we have a lot of guys in our room that are, Marlon Moraes just fought for the titles, Zabit Magomed Sharipov, Eddie Alvarez, Timur Valiv. We have so many great guys, Corey Anderson, Katlyn Chookagian, who just fought and won, Sajar Eubanks, Claudia, Lance Palmer, and Frankie's still fighting at such a high level that I just don't see an end to it right now. You know what I'm saying? He's, sparring pros. He's fighting the most elite of the elite and doing awesome. So no, I don't see an end. I don't think it's the last one. And, I think Frankie, I don't know when the expiration date is on him. I'd say it's the same as Mayweather. He's in the room every day. He loves fighting. He loves helping everybody when he's not fighting. Even when he's injured, he's in there. He hasn't been injured since he's been doing so much better now. And I don't see a timetable for him.
In a way, this is the best time to fight Max Holloway, right? Because it's very rare to fight a champion coming off of a loss. You never know how he's going to respond to that. So this is kind of perfect for you guys.
I don't believe so. I believe when people lose, they know they have to come back hard. But someone like Max, I mean, I got to say, man, that Max is one of my favorite fighters. I love Max to death. I love his attitude. I love his fighting style. And that's what I love. And I think the things that I love about Max are the things that I love about Frankie. They're both guys that aren't going to say no to anybody. They're both guys that aren't going to back down. You know what I'm saying? And they're both guys that aren't going to pick and choose their opponents. They're just guys that are going to put it all out there at any time. They're true fighters. They call themselves fighters and they act like fighters. And that's tough to do in 2019, and I appreciate both of them.
I appreciate you, Mark. Thank you very much for doing this. I know it's never easy coming off of a loss. But what a fight. That's one of my favorite fights of the year, and it exceeded my expectations. I thought it wasn't getting enough attention because of the Ferguson-Cerrone fight, and rightfully everyone was very excited about that one. But what a championship-level fight that was. Like, that was high-level MMA between two of the very best fighters in the sport today. So hopefully Marlon is doing okay. He's not too upset, and I have no doubt that we'll see him back in a big title fight. And let's not forget, Henry Cejudo once lost his first title fight, and look what's happened to him now. So I don't think this is the end of Marlon Moraes. Congratulations on you and the team for getting this far, and good luck, in trying to get him back there. I have no doubt that it will happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah, congratulations to Henry and his team, and let's get you and Ali back on track too, buddy.
All right.
I know that you didn't mean that tweet, and I know that
yes.
That Ali is definitely one of the best in the game.
Thank you, Mark.
All
I
right,
appreciate it.
All right, bro.
There he
Later,
is, Mark Henry, head coach for the likes of Marlon Moraes, Frankie Edgar, now Claudia Gadelha, Zabit Magomed-Sharipov, Corey Anderson. List goes on and on. One of the best coaches in the game, and one of the best people in the game as well, in my opinion. And yeah, it's true. This thing with Ali is no fun. Some stupid tweets back and forth. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. I don't like the drama. Believe it or not, I don't like the drama. I don't. I'm not a fan of it. And so, yeah, it's no fun to not feel, you build relationships with people, and you spend a lot of time talking to them on the phone, probably, sometimes more than your own family. And then all of a sudden it just ends. That's it. Not talking anymore because of what? So anyway, if you're out there, let's try to bury the hatchet here and move on in a positive way. And, we don't have to be the best of friends, but not speaking terms is no fun. The back and forth, they were fun. This, not as fun. In a matter of moments, we'll talk to Aljamain Sterling, the Funk Master. Had a big win over Pedro Munoz on Saturday. Is he next for Henry Cejudo? Will he fight for the bantamweight title? Seems like he's putting it all together. Aljamain Sterling, I read this crazy stat. Check this out. Oh, it's not here. Well, I read it somewhere else. He landed more significant strikes in the first 2 rounds of that fight against Pedro Munoz than he did in all his UFC fights combined. Did I read that right? I'm pretty sure I did. Let me see. I don't want to get that wrong. Where is it? I wrote it down in our little round table thingy that we did. Here it is. Of course, the internet doesn't work now. Oh, here it is. Wait for it. Oh, here it is. Come on. Sterling landed more strikes in the first 2 rounds of the fight, 110, than he had in any of his previous UFC fights. That's insane. That's a great performance. This is a man, since he lost to Marlon Moraes, he's looked amazing in the UFC. He's really put it all together. The other big bantamweight performance on the card was Petr Yan, and so I'm curious if the UFC... Look, if Henry's seriously injured, and we'll find out a little more. By the way, how good do these cupcakes look over here with the 10 and everything? It looks amazing. Very enticing. Just want to lick them all. Anyway, if Henry is out for quite some time, we'll get an update from him in a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if they do Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. There's still Corey Sandhagen out there, but it seems like it's a 3-horse race. Sandhagen fights Rafael Sunsao, who's not an easy out by any stretch of the imagination, in a couple months. So we'll see what happens. But Sterling versus Yan would be great, and I wouldn't have a problem with Sterling versus Cejudo, but I just feel like Cejudo's going to be out for a while with the ankle injury, and he seemed really banged up afterwards. There's a video of him being carted around in a wheelchair when he came on the post-fight show on Saturday. They essentially had to pick him up and put him on the set. So he's certainly banged up. And what a scary thing that is. What a scary thing. I mean, I talked to a high-level fighter, a very famous fighter, on Saturday about the stuff with the mats. And in case you missed it, Henry said that he was training at the hotel. So at the fighter hotel, they have these little ballrooms, and they'll basically have these signs on the wall with with the fighters listed. And red corner, blue corner, and they'll maybe split it up into 4. And you could go in there and you can, prepare for your fight. That's where you can work out. And they'll usually have these mats there. And I spoke to a high-level fighter who told me that he never uses the mats. He just works out on the carpet because the mats will slide all over the place. And it seems as though, according to Henry and his team, there was a little gap there because the mats weren't taped properly. And that's how he sprained his ankle and sprained it pretty seriously. Showed me the picture, and this was on Wednesday. His entire ankle was swollen and black and blue. And so could you imagine if A, he could not fight as a result of that, or B, he lost the fight as a result of that? I mean, I'm no lawyer or anything, but that's a pretty serious thing. That you injure yourself while training for the fight because of the mats not being taped properly? That's crazy. I never heard that before. I mean, I've heard people getting hurt that way, but never, prior to a UFC fight. But this fighter told me that it's a real thing, and they're cognizant of it. So that's a scary thing. Luckily for him, it didn't affect his performance. It didn't affect the fight. But wow, think about, and I knew right away that it was true. He had the ankle sleeves on both. Of course, he couldn't just have it on one because that would have been obvious for Marlon that he was hurt in that particular foot. But that's a big deal that he was able to overcome that. So well done to him. All right, let's go back to Aljo now. Let's say hello to him. The Funk Master, big win over Pedro Munoz. Last time he was on, he was at another restaurant in Phoenix, I believe. Now he's, I'm assuming, at a restaurant in Chicago.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
I like it. It's Aljo's Restaurant World Tour. What are you eating now?
I'm just crushing a deep dish over here, Chicago style.
Oh, man. Okay, so what do you think? Chicago or New York?
I'm still on the side, Team New York. I'm still Team New York pizza.
Okay. I would have taken away your New York card if you would have said Chicago, because I don't think any New Yorker can actually go for Chicago pizza. Congratulations on the win. I just read a stat that you landed more significant strikes in the first 2 rounds of that fight than you had in your entire UFC career combined. Do you feel like that was, like, each time I feel like I ask you this, but is it possible that that was your best performance in the UFC?
I'm going to say it was my best performance. Not 100% complete in terms of getting the takedowns and everything, but I think overall, just the complete execution of my game from the beginning, the first bell to the end. I think I did everything right that we wanted to do. I mean, there was some stuff I could have done better, of course, but I think I fought the perfect fight.
Are you banged up? I got a good look at your face there very briefly, but now I think the connection is up. It is a little messed up. I know you went to the hospital. Are you banged up?
A little bit. My hand is a little tweaked.
Oh.
And my leg, but I'm just limping a little bit. It's not the end of the world. Nothing's broken or anything like that. So my thumb, I should have this squared away. I got to get an MRI when I get back home, and hopefully there's no tears. They said they think that I might have tore the bone off or something through the ligament. Something weird. I don't know. But they said it only takes like 4 weeks if I do need surgery. Hopefully not.
And that happened in the middle of the fight?
That happened in I guess so. I mean, I didn't feel it until the end. The adrenaline came down. I actually fell out of the chair in the back room, which was super embarrassing. They thought I passed out. The UFC doctors came. They ran inside. They thought I passed out. I was like, no, I just fell off the chair like an idiot.
Oh my God! Wow. And so you went to the hospital. And did you injure your leg as well? You said.
Yeah. So just from Pedro and I trading the leg kicks and a couple of free ones that he was able to get in the second round and then third round. They beat me up pretty good. We actually met each other at the hospital and took a picture.
I saw that picture. That was amazing. So is the bad blood no more? Have you guys squashed it?
I don't know. I mean, at least on my end, there was never any real bad blood. I mean, the whole thing started because I asked the question, whatever happened with the results of his drug test that he supposedly failed as per the commission. All I did was ask a question about it. I guess he took it the wrong way and thought I was looking for an excuse to say why I might lose the fight, but it wasn't anything like that. I was just asking a sincere question. He has a fair share of words for me, and I was like, Mr. Polite Pedro isn't as polite as we once thought he was, but when you share that octagon with someone for 15 minutes like that, 25 minutes, whatever the case may be, I think everyone always has a newfound respect for each other, and especially when you push each other's limits like that.
Are you the number one contender at 135?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, what other guys are out there? Who else could be in front of the number one Funk Master? I earned this spot. Battled back from one of the flukiest, most humiliating knockouts that you could have ever have happened to you in your career. And most guys, they don't bounce back from that, and I've done it in a spectacular way. I think I've shown my perseverance through the ups and downs, and here I am, man. You know, my team was still behind me. I'm still behind myself. And when I walked past the media row at the end of the fight, they were congratulating me, but I also was making sure they knew and they heard me loud and clear. And I said to them, stop. I don't care what you guys believe. I believe in me at the end of the day. I bet on myself. No one's going to ever make me count out myself and how I feel about what. I said, stop telling me what I can and cannot do. I believe in me. Never count me out.
Amen. And did you get a chance to watch the Cejudo Moraes fight?
Oh, yeah, from the hospital.
Wow.
It was a great fight, man. Marlon, man, he exactly what I said about Marlon. Super powerful dude, super explosive. But we don't know how good he really is. And it comes off as an insincere assessment from my end because I fought him and I lost him. But outside of that, he lost to a sunset split decision in the first fight in his debut. He beat John Dodson in a split decision. That was the only main glimpse that we got to see of his skills and capabilities. And then he rattled off 3 spectacular knockout wins. One of them was a submission, but he dropped and hurt Asuncao before he choked him out, all in the first round. So when you have that and you don't get to really see the whole picture of what he brings to the table, it kind of leaves these open question marks, and that's what I was always wondering. Does he actually have a gas tank to go into those championship rounds to be like, all right, this is definitely the guy? And Henry was able to push those buttons and got him out of the early rounds, and he got the finish. I thought it was going to be a long night for Cejudo. His legs got chopped up real early in that fight. But Henry's tough, man. He is world-class for a reason. He came back, he battled through adversity, and he was able to get the finish.
In a way, would you agree that Henry beating Marlon, was the best-case scenario for you?
Yes and no. I figured it really depends on how the fight went, but with him winning, I think there's no immediate rematch type of thing in any way that could be denied on that end. So in that regard, yes, I had no horse in the race. I really didn't care. I just wanted to see a good fight, and it was a competitive fight. I think it did answer a lot of questions for a lot of people. And Henry's what he says he is. He is the pound-for-pound greatest combat athlete out there. But, Ariel, when I beat him, what does that make me?
Yes.
What does that make me?
Amen. Did you see Jan's fight?
I didn't. I caught like the last round, and not even the last round, like the last minute. But I heard Rivera was winning every single round and just got caught at the end against the cage, and Jan was able to steal the round at the end of each individual round, which kind of tells a good story for myself. I'm going to hopefully get some time to watch it either today or tomorrow and break down the fight so I can break it down on my podcast and what I think Peter Yan brings to the table. And yeah, because I know that's going to be a guy I'm going to eventually meet down the road, the same way I knew Pedro and I was going to meet down the road. And Pedro and I will definitely have a rematch at some point down the road because he's a tough dude, man. I don't think there's going to be a lot of guys that can handle his pressure, his pace, and his heart, man. That's the one thing. You gotta have a special type of gas tank and a special type of individual to deal with something like that, a guy like that away.
If they say to you Cejudo's out for too long, or we want Cejudo to defend the flyweight title, would you be open to fighting Yan next?
As I scratch the hairs on my chinny chin, I'm gonna say no. I have no desire to fight him right now. I'm on a 4-5 win streak. I beat the number 4 guy in the world. He beat a guy that I beat, and I dominated. I don't think I need to fight him right now. If I had to, I mean, I can't say no because that's just the way the UFC operates. But at the end of the day, I put my time in. I think Dana realized that. I think Sean Shelby realized that. McMahon, I think all these guys know I'm the true number 1 contender. That was the true number 1 contender fight. I think if they could have, they would have switched. If they knew our fight was going to be like that, they would have switched us, and we would have been on the main card, and which we should have rightfully been on it.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. What did you make of that?
The disrespect.
Yes.
I don't know. I think they thought I was going to slow Pedro down and hug him and clinch him up and make the fight boring. But like I said, man, it takes a special individual to bring out those type of fights, and Pedro's that guy. He was able to come forward, march me down, and no quit, granite chin. I hit him with some shots, man. I was asking Ray, I was like, hey, can you throw me a brick because I need something else to hit him with.
It's amazing. I love the clip that they showed of Matt and Ray talking to you in the corner. It's an incredible corner that you have. I know we've talked about this before, Aljo, but I firmly believe now that in the end, the Marlon fight was the best thing to ever happen to you. Am I crazy?
No, I agree. I think in terms of my career, in terms of what the UFC could now say and do, I think it lines me up perfectly. This is the perfect scenario. But like I said, I like Marlon. We were very cordial. We're not like best friends or anything like that. We never trained together, but our coaches are really good friends and all that. So we have a lineage right there. But as competitors, that's what we do. We compete against the best guys in the world. So I wasn't wishing him ill will. I wasn't wishing Henry ill will. I just want to fight the best guy in the world and prove that I am the best guy in the world. So here we're at. This is where we're at right now.
Yeah.
The stars align for me. And like I told the UFC on the night, June 8th, you can't keep a star from shining. It's my time to shine.
Have they told you that you're next? Have you gotten that word?
No, not yet. But I'm pretty sure my phone should be, my manager should be calling with some good news at some point.
Okay.
I heard they were pretty happy with the performance, and I heard Dana said something along the lines of if he knew I could fight like that this entire time, I would have been the main event. So I don't know. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I was told that he said to Mr. Mancera Sensei.
Okay.
So good things coming, man. Good things coming.
Okay, and last thing, are you worried? Sometimes when you have a champion in two weight classes, that holds things up. Are you worried at all that you'll have to wait a little longer because now Henry has two? Hello, who's that? Oh, I thought it was some random person. How are you?
It's my lady.
Oh, hello.
It's my lady. Say hi.
What's her name?
Rebecca Cruz, soon to be Mrs. Sterling.
Are you guys engaged?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay. Well, did you just pop the question right now? Is that what just happened, Aljo?
Nah.
I mean,
you're good, Aaron.
Maybe she didn't. That'd be great for my show, Aljo. If you could pop the question right now, that'd be huge for us.
That would be good. That would be good.
But not happening.
No, not right now.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, I just wanted to ask about kind of a weird transition, but the Cejudo thing, like now that you have a champion in two weight classes, is that problematic for you? Do you think he has to give up one?
I think Henry likes being fat and happy. I think he likes fighting at 135 and not having to diet all the way down to 125. So I can see this fight happening before 125. I think 125 needs to solidify a true number one contender still between Benavidez and Jussier Formiga, two world-class guys. But I think the world wants the funk, man.
Yeah.
The funk show, it's just gotten started, baby. We're rolling.
All right. I feel like Rebecca doesn't like being on camera. Is that accurate?
A little bit.
Yeah. She was kind of giving you the cold shoulder there. All right. Enjoy your time in Chicago. Enjoy your pizza, my man. Congratulations on the win. Well done. Heal up soon. And I hope for your sake that you get the title shot. Take care.
Hi, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Ariel.
All right, my man. There he is, the Funk Master, Aljamain Sterling. Huge win for him. And we'll see if he is, in fact, next. 4-fight win streak at bantamweight, second longest in the division, behind Petr Yan. And he also landed a UFC bantamweight record, 174 significant strikes against Pedro Munoz. The plus 2.84 significant strike differential in UFC bantamweight fights is the highest in division history. So that's a big win for Aljo. Also, to kick off the card, Katlyn Chookagian had a big win. She's one of 5 fighters to have 3 wins at women's flyweight, and she is now just the 12th fighter in UFC history to have her first 7 fights go to decision. So we'll ask her if she is in fact next for Valentina Shevchenko. Wait a second, I don't even recognize you, blonde fighter. Is that you? I've never seen your hair like this.
Yes.
What exactly is going on here? Is that your natural hair? Curly hair?
No, I just I took my braids out, so this is what it looks like when you take them out.
Oh my gosh, how long does that last?
Probably about until I get done with you and wash it.
Okay, fair enough. What, you kept them in for 2 days? Is that a usual thing for you?
Yeah, I usually keep it in the day after, just because I don't feel like I was in Chicago yesterday and I just got home like about an hour ago. So
Oh,
yeah, I just deal with it when I get home.
fair enough. Well, thank you for doing this upon landing. Congratulations on the win. Were you happy with your performance?
Yeah, I was really happy. You know, like I said after the interview, my whole game plan for this fight was attitude. You know, Mark Henry, every single one-on-one session and sparring session, he was just like attitude, attitude. Well, we always write our, like, in his basement, he has a big big paper where we write down things that we want for this fight. And number one, always underlined and circled, was attitude. And I was able to use that in the fight, and I think that's what helped me get the win.
And so what is that like? So you could say that, but like, how do you actually work on that? Like, how is that an actual skill that you work on? I can understand it being something that you write down, but how does one actually work on that?
I think just in sparring, like, and training, you know, not being too nice in training, and just kind of pushing it a little bit more in sparring, and not getting, sometimes I tend to get too technical, and sometimes you need to just, you just need to go hard. And luckily this sparring camp, I had a really, really great camp. Me and Sajara Eubanks, she fought 3 weeks before me. So we sparred pretty much together the whole entire camp, and we were just like going at it. I mean, our sparring sessions were definitely harder than the fight. So I think that was a huge impact for my fight and helping me improve.
Did you feel like you had to get a finish in order to cement your place as a number one contender, or did you not think that was important?
I don't think that's important. I try not to put that pressure on myself. The only important thing is winning. So, I just want to stick to my game plan, do what I can. I mean, obviously I'm trying to go for a finish, but sometimes I think if you try to force things, it takes you out of your game and out of your element. So I just try to win, win every exchange. And that's just all I try to do.
Did you feel like you did enough before they announced the scorecards?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely felt like that. Obviously when you go to decision, you're always a little nervous. But I felt like I wasn't really hurt in the fight at all. And I felt like she was definitely hurt like throughout the fight. So I definitely felt like I did enough. Once I heard 30-27, I was like, I absolutely won.
How did you feel about, as far as like the fights on the prelims? You guys were the highest ranked ones, and there were potential title implications on this. How did you feel about starting the show? I spoke to her on Thursday, I think it was, and she seemed very upset about it all. Or maybe not upset, but perturbed. Like she was a little bit annoyed that you guys were first. How did you feel about it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you spoke to her on Thursday, but you didn't speak to me.
But you see, this is the same thing that happened with Calvin. Everyone gets mad at me. I want to clip this off, and I'm going to show this to the people. Yes, you should be mad at me. You know what? You should be mad. But you know what happened? They took my camera away. If I'm being honest, they took my camera away. I didn't have a camera. Did you see me with a camera when you were there? Did you see me? Or did you see me just dilly-dallying?
I didn't see the camera. No, but I heard you saying that I sound like a tennis player.
No, I did not say that. I did not say that, Katlyn.
I definitely listened to the interview this morning, and you said I sound like a tennis player.
Oh, okay. First of all, if I did say that, why is that bad? Tennis players are great.
You said it in a negative way, that it was like annoying.
No, she brought it up first, that she felt like it was annoying.
You brought it up.
Wow.
And then she went on.
Well, tennis.
You brought it up and then she went. You were trying to try to stir up a little conflict there.
Well, I was trying to, if I'm being honest, I was trying to drum up some interest in the fight because it bothered me that you guys were so low down on the card, right? Was I not having your back on that one? And can I just say, tennis players at times, they can get a little irritating with the noises, no? I mean, is that unfair?
Yeah. With tennis, yeah, maybe, but they also don't have punches coming at their face.
True. Okay, so why do you make those sounds?
That's just how I am when I train. I mean, if you walk into a boxing gym, I grew up doing karate, so maybe that's probably why. But and then the first sport that I competed in really was boxing, and if you walk into a boxing gym, everyone's really loud and screaming. But I don't know, that's just kind of me. Even when I'm at the gym, people will hear me and they're like, oh, I guess Katlyn's here, But That's just how I am. I try not to, I'm not going to change it because it annoys people. If that's what helps me, and that's what I'm going to do.
No, in fact, I would suggest doing it even more and doing it louder. If it can help you, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's like, it reminds me of those people that don't shower before the big fights, like any edge.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wait,
I guess.
So do we have
I'll
beef?
shower, but.
Do we have beef, Katlyn?
Huh?
Do we have beef?
No, I just got to keep you in check a little.
I feel like we have beef. I kind of like it. I respect it. I also respect the fact that you said it 10 minutes into the interview, like you were holding on to it, and then you unleashed it on me.
Yeah. Well, I already gave you a little crap for going with JoJo to the barber shop, but you don't go with me to the hair salon.
Wait, do you do that sort of thing before? I guess you braid your hair. Is that accurate?
Yeah. You wouldn't know because you don't ask.
Fair enough. Although I didn't go before this fight. That was last fight. So does it just...
Yeah, I know.
So you're saying this time I should have then gone to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right.
Did you see the Shevchenko fight?
Yeah, I did. I went to a bar with my parents and stuff, so we watched the rest of the fights there.
You left?
And then I watched it there. Well, I wanted to see my parents and my family.
They weren't at the fight?
They were at the fight, but once we're done fighting, we're not allowed to go. The fighters aren't allowed to go into the stands.
Right.
I was the first fight. I wasn't going to wait in the back. I wasn't going to wait in my locker room for like 7 hours.
Sure.
Till the fights are over. So yeah, we went back to the hotel, and then I met up, me, my family, and my coaches. We went somewhere and watched the rest of the fights, some more quiet. So it was nice.
Okay, what do you think? What do you think of her performance and the finish? The finish was quite scary, devastating, very impressive, right? Very technical. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. I mean, it was crazy when they showed the replay and you listen to like that sound of that kick. That was crazy. I mean, it looks bad, but when you hear the sound of it, you're like, holy crap, that was a hard kick. But yeah, I'm always like super impressed with Valentina's takedowns, and I don't think people give her enough credit for it. They just say how much of a devastating striker she is, but I mean, she took Joanna down like 7 times, and no one takes Joanna down, So I think that obviously the kick and the finish is super impressive, but I'm always really impressed by her ability to take girls down.
Are you next for her?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
Have you been told that?
I haven't been told that, but they've said that our fight was going to be a #1 contender fight. Nothing in writing, but that's what's been said.
Okay.
So I don't see anyone else that makes sense right now.
Would you like to fight her next?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like you match up well with her?
Yeah, I do. I really do. And it's nice that we just fought in the same card. So timing wise, obviously from her fight, I don't think she's injured. I have no injuries. So, I think that timing wise, it makes sense for the both of us. So, I think November in New York sounds like a good time.
Oh.
I know Valentina's always wants to be active, and she's always trying to fight. Like, she'll probably fight tomorrow if she can, so we'll see what they say, but hopefully as soon as possible.
Okay. And so it's interesting because I feel like there's a thought out there, and I'll be honest, I feel like I subscribe to the thought as well. I subscribe to this theory that it's a little bit like the early days of the men's flyweight division, where we have this dominant champion and she will reign supreme for multiple title defenses. When you watch her fight as a flyweight, because even Jessica said this to me before the fight, that she feels like her path has not been the toughest as a flyweight. I don't know if she'll say that now because, of course, they just fought. Do you see holes in her game? Because I'm not a fighter. I'm not, an expert. I don't see many. Do you see any?
I think she's very well-rounded everywhere. I wouldn't say she's better, from wrestling to striking to grappling. I think she's equally good at all 3 of them. I don't think she has any particular weaknesses in them. I think if for me or any other fighter that's going to have to fight them are going to have to use their strengths and see where they weigh out against her for their advantage. I'm a tricky fighter. I tend to frustrate a lot of people with my footwork and my movement. And I have really good cardio, and my style is kind of a hard style to deal with, a frustrating one, and it's hard to beat. So I think that's my advantage for my fight against Valentina.
Okay. And if you fight Valentina, just my 2 cents, I would yell a lot. I would annoy her. I would get in her head.
Yeah. She doesn't seem like, she seems pretty focused. I don't think she'll get annoyed.
She seems unflappable. Yeah. That's the best way to describe her, right?
Yeah.
Those Eastern European
she's a real
fighters.
martial artist. Yeah, they're not fazed by anything.
By the way, congratulations. I do believe you're getting married soon, correct?
Yeah, I'm getting married in I think like 2 months now. Yeah, end of the summer.
Would it be safe to say after those tennis comments and the no interview, don't wait for the save the date? I'm not on the list.
If you didn't get it yet, that's pretty much it. If you would have interviewed me on Thursday, maybe, but yeah,
All right.
it didn't get sent out today because of that.
Okay. Well, I think it's warranted and deserved, in my opinion. Congratulations on the win. I hope for your sake
Thank
you get
you.
that title shot. That would be interesting to see her go up against a striker like yourself. She's looked very good. I agree with you. Always good when you fight on the same card as the champion because then your schedules are aligned together. So good luck with that, and good luck planning the wedding as well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And hopefully no hard feelings anymore. Okay, we're good.
No hard feelings.
I don't want to live in a
I'm just
world.
gonna bust you a little.
That's fine.
I just gotta keep you in check every once in a while.
No problem. I can handle it. I just don't want to live in a world where Katlyn Chookagian is mad at me. Enough people are mad at me, all right?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Fair enough. All right, Katlyn. Thank you very much. Enjoy the victory, and thanks for doing it.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, there she is. Blonde fighter, Katlyn Chookagian. Kicked off the night, UFC 238. By the way, I love doing the radio show before the show and before the event. Thanks to everyone who called in on Saturday. We got to do it from the United Center atrium. It was great. Let me see if I have. Do I have it? No, I don't have that thing. We got to do it from. Wait, do I have? Oh, here it is. I do have it. Got to do it from the United Center atrium. Took a lot of phone calls. It was great. We're doing that before all the big shows. How about this guy? I don't know his name. This guy did this shirt for me. He made it. Look at that. Knows World Order. Look at that. Look at that. Ariel Helwani Roadshow, Chicago. I guess that's the date underneath. I mean, that is something. Another fine gentleman made this for me. I mean, the people were just so nice. Thanks to Chael for spoiling what happened. How about that? Right there. Little collage, if you will. I mean, that is just something else. Just amazing. Anyway, thank you very much to everyone who stopped by. It was a great time in Chicago. And, of course, the headliner featured Henry Cejudo, Marlon Moraes. Big win for Henry over Marlon. He is now the triple champ. Everyone's still buzzing. And without further ado, we shall talk to the man who walked away with double gold on Saturday night. And now, without further ado, let us bring you the man that everyone wants to hear from. Everyone wants to see him. He is Triple C. He is the Olympic champion, the flyweight champion, and now the UFC reigning, defending bantamweight champion. And he's flanked by the 2019 Coach of the Year, Captain Eric Albarracin. He is the one and only Henry Cejudo. Henry, how are you? He is a man possessed. Look at that look.
I'm doing okay, Ariel. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's good to
kiss the ring.
I will kiss the ring. I will bend the knee, as you like to say now, Henry. It's so good to have you here. It's so good to talk to you. I really appreciate you doing this. The first question that I think needs to be addressed right off the top, I think it's the question everyone wants the answer to.
I'm single. I'm single.
Well, you ruined it. I was going to say, how did it feel to have Nikki Bella comment on your post? How did it feel, Henry? Uninitiated. You know what? You need to give her the hand, all right? You need to give her the Heisman now. She can't be coming around. No Johnny-come-latelys here, all right?
Exactly. You know what? Nikki Bella, you can go wait in line.
That's right.
You know what? I got a line from here all the way to Brazil. So Nikki Bella, take a hike.
Henry going full heel on Nikki Bella.
Do me a favor and tag her.
Okay. I will tag her.
That the king of cringe, the greatest combat athlete of all time. And she's second string now.
I'm assuming that a lot of people are hitting you up, Henry, and so we will leave it at that. This is an amazing thing that you've done. It's truly unbelievable. I remember it was this time last year in Chicago. That's when you found out that you were going to fight Demetrius Johnson. Who would have thought? Fast forward a year, you're now a champion in 2 different weight classes, and what you pulled off was amazing. But let's go back to Tuesday of last week. Could you tell us exactly what happened with your ankle and how serious was it? Was there a chance that you would have had to pull out of the fight?
Yeah, there could have been. There could have been a possibility of that. But I talked to my coach. I talked to everybody because I had sprained it. So Tuesday night when I got in on Monday. Tuesday night we trained, and everything was going smooth, healthy, man. I've been so strong, man. Physically just strong, man. Hats off to my science team, Neuroforce One. But anyways, I always use wrestling shoes for that matter. I don't train barefooted. I'm probably about the only guy in MMA that just trains with his wrestling shoes for grappling, for everything, because of that, right? Because I've sprained a lot of my ankles. And anyways, Tuesday night we're getting ready to start training and whatnot, and at the UFC downstairs at the hotel, typically they have a training area for us, and the mats were under like some cheap tape. And when I stepped, I kind of fell into the crack of the mats were between the tape, and the mats were supposed to be connected. And I twisted my my left ankle area, and it was scary, man. It had ballooned up to maybe about the size of a grapefruit in the beginning. And I was able to work. I was able to, have Heather Linden, who shout out for her. She worked on me the whole week. I mean, I was doing therapy, lasers at night. Like I was almost doing therapy like every hour on my ankle, and I was able to walk on it, but I wasn't able to really shoot or penetrate, like to pick up, or I didn't want to test it to do that. But it's just if it happens in the fight, then I just have to pull through. And so going into the fight, I went in there with an injury. Like I went in there with the pretty severe left ankle sprain.
Wow. Were you worried? That's why you wore the ankle sleeves, right?
Yeah, that's why I had to. That's why I had to wear the ankle sleeves.
So mentally, were you like this? This is a whole other thing to worry about. Did your confidence drop? Were you worried about your performance? You can't use your ankle. You can't shoot properly, right? You can't move properly. You can't fight properly.
Right. But I think it was, I don't want to say it was completely. I was hurt, but it wasn't that much to pull out of the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like it was with a good tape job and the therapy that I was doing. Like I was feeling better. It was getting better every single day.
This could have been disastrous, though, for you. I mean, have you talked to the UFC about rectifying this in the future?
Yeah, and this is good that we're actually even talking about it. Hopefully they could. I didn't necessarily. I didn't want to scare Dennis. I didn't tell him. Until maybe like the last night. I had to tell the UFC officials. I was like, listen, man, because Heather was supposed to take off to China, and I says, hey, I'm gonna need her here, man, because my ankles. She's the only one that could take my ankle correctly. Mm. So that's when I had to kind of break it to him. But I was like, but I'm ready. I says, it's an injury. It happens all the time. And I sprained my left ankle when I fought Demetrius the first time. I fought him with the ankle sprain, way worse than this, and I beat him.
What's going on in your mind? What are you thinking about after that first round? Because he looked really good in that first round. He was attacking your legs, and it seemed like, things were going in his favor. The momentum was on his side. How did you regroup going into the second?
It was, the game plan was to wrestle, but again, man, I couldn't necessarily push off or cover space. Like he was doing a good job throwing his leg kicks, like finding me at range with his leg kicks. And God, Ariel, can he kick, man? Jesus, I felt like a bat was going through my shins. I mean, the dude could kick and you could hear it. And people that were near case, they're like, dude, we could hear it. It was like two sticks going. Like it was like. The sound of breaking, and I knew that he was throwing a lot of power. And when I went back to my corner, I had Santino DeFranco and Captain Eric, and they were there. They says, "Hey, listen, man, they said Demetrius all over again." I said, "Your ankle's messed up. He's attacking that front leg." I said, "You're just gonna have to get into boxing range. You got to go in there. You got to literally fight this guy." Or if not, he's going to stop you pretty much. They didn't say it like that, but that's kind of how I felt, and that's kind of how they were kind of conveying it. So then I just told my coach, I says, all right, man, I'm going inside. I says, I'm coming in. I'm going in. I says, if this is what I have to do, then this is what I have to do. And I had to make it a dogfight. He was throwing a lot of power. A lot of people could say that he fought emotional or whatnot, but I just felt like he threw a lot of power. I thought he did a good job. Even though he was catching me with kicks, remember, Ariel, it's still shin on shin. Mm. He feels as much as I do. I'm probably feeling a little bit more because he's directing the power, but he felt it too. I know it was shin against shin. A lot of them.
Do you feel like you got under his skin, like you were in his head? Because it did feel like he was throwing so much and maybe not controlling his power, not controlling, it seemed like he got tired, and it's been a long time since we saw Marlon get tired in a fight like that. Do you feel like maybe he emptied the gas tank too early because of how he felt about you? Clearly he did not like you.
No, he didn't, but I don't think so. Marlon, I said that before. Marlon's a power fighter. I think his game plan was right. I just thought he threw too much power. So I don't think he got emotional. I just didn't think he knew what I was made out of. You got to keep that in mind. The fighter didn't beat Marlon Moraes. It was a competitor that beat him. It was a guy that says, "Okay, man, you may be the better fighter. You may, but you're not the better competitor, man. I will find a way to beat you." And I said, if you don't shut my lights off, if you don't choke me out, if you don't knock me out, you're in trouble. And that's exactly what happened. He threw too much power, which I thought he would. And I saw him breathing. His demeanor gave me everything. His breathing, his face, his hands. I look at all that stuff. And I started to push the pace. I was a smaller guy. I pushed the pace, and he couldn't hang no more, and I saw that.
Speaking of being the smaller guy, first time in a while that you fight at 135. So now you can compare it to you at your best at 125. Do you like fighting at 135 better? Do you want to stick around?
I do like 35 better. It's 10 pounds less of misery. But, I have the capability of making both weight classes. Dana White just said that the flyweight division is going to stay.
You saved them.
Can we get a round of applause? Can we get a round of applause for that?
Well done. Do you believe him, though? Because here's my theory. My theory is that he's saying that, and it's great, just so that you can walk around as the double champion. If they take away the division, it doesn't feel like it means as much. But they got rid of all these guys. How can the division actually be a thing if there's only 10 guys left?
Well, you restructure it, Ariel.
Okay.
I think now's the time. I think you restructure and you find characters. You find guys. Dude, there's a lot of good guys. There's King Zulu, who is really tough, man. Out of South Africa, world champ. Man, he is one dangerous human being. There's guys like that, and they're everywhere. It just showed you a flyweight is a new pound-for-pound king. The flyweight has 2 belts right now. The former pound-for-pound was a flyweight. There's nothing wrong with it. What's happening is we got to find characters, man. We have to build storylines. That's all there is to it. Even at the bantamweight division, if it wasn't for me, Ariel, I think the bantamweight division would be same thing. Who's the character in there? Who's selling the fight?
You're saving all of them.
Who's got a name?
You're doing it.
Do you see anybody coming up with magic tricks?
It's incredible. I love everything you're doing, and it really seems like you're comfortable in your own skin. You don't listen to the haters. You don't listen to the critics. And I saw it at Media Day. All the cameras were around you. Everyone wanted to talk to you. Everyone was commenting on your stare down, your props, all that stuff and more. So it's amazing what you're doing. And I noticed that you said in the post-fight interview you want to get paid like a heavyweight. It's time that they actually start treating you like one of the big stars. Is that what's the next thing that you need to get done? You need to start getting paid accordingly?
That's my first fight. My first fight is with Uncle Dana White and his checkbook. Let me start off by saying this, man. Dana, the UFC, they've been so good to me, man. These are the last people I wanna trash talk. But I will say this, man. As much as their business is so am I. I'm a prize fighter. I deserve to be paid, guys. People talk about champ. Okay, George St. Pierre, Daniel Cormier. Dude, I'm in a league of my own. I'm in a league of my own area. I'm Triple C, man. I'm a champ. So I'm not a champ. I'm Triple C, man. The Olympics is the hardest thing any human being could ever do. And I just want to be compensated. I speak 3 different languages. I feel like the UFC sees that. Dana White sees that. He's gonna compensate me. He's going to. If not, man, you can have both belts. I deserve to get paid. And he's been good to me, and he's told me, he says, the more you win, he said, you win this fight. This is what he told me in the meeting. He says, you will be compensated. So I'm just reassuring, I'm doing it publicly. So we're both public figures, so.
Right.
I want dinero, I want moolah. I deserve it, Ariel.
You do. What are the state of your injuries right now? What are we dealing with? How is the ankle after the fight? How are you feeling overall? Because I of course saw the footage of you being wheeled around in a wheelchair. How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling better now. Like actually I'm beat up, dude. I'm still in Chicago. I'm still in Chicago. I think during the fight I like threw out my left shoulder, so that's actually more pain than my actual shins. Like this hurts. I'm pretty sure I tore something in my left shoulder. And I've always been healthy, and it just doesn't feel right. So my shins, I was bleeding last night from the top of my head. Uh, both my shins, I have a cut in my knee. I think I need him in the face, or I need his tooth or whatever. But I have a gap about like this big in my knee. I don't know if it was from a kick, but I don't think he kicked my knees. So it must have been from me kicking him to the face or whatever. So I have a gash there. I'm beat up, man. It just shows I can be technical, or I can make it into a dogfight and I'll survive.
Do you know exactly what happened to the ankle? Like, did you tear ligaments? Is it just a sprain? Is it worse now?
I'm gonna have to get it checked by the doctors. But you're the first person to send the picture to Ariel. I mean, Heather believed it was torn.
Wow.
On the top side. So, but I don't have an MRI, so I really can't do that. But I'm gonna have to get a whole scan of my body after fighting Marlon.
I recounted earlier today in a column on ESPN.com about the story that both you and Eric told me in the past at UFC 177 when you essentially retired after failing to make weight prior to the Scott Jorgensen fight. And so I can't help but ask Mr. Eric in back over there.
There he is.
You were jumping around like a little child. You were so happy. It was beautiful to see. This was as much a victory for you, I feel like, as it was for Henry. And we should note, because you felt slighted last year, that this is now your second double champ in the span of a month and a half. This is an incredible thing. Eric, how do you feel after all of this?
I feel on top of the world. And it was 4 weeks. And it was in Chicago here 4 weeks ago.
Wow. Chicago has done you well.
Chicago's been good to me.
Why did you not let this... Yes?
Go ahead. Except I got robbed yesterday.
What happened?
My wallet and my passport. Left it in the hotel lobby. Went to run after Henry's doctor to try to get a prescription for him. And then I went back up to the room. And when I went back down, when I realized what I had done, it was gone. Oh. But I got video of it, so I'm going to post it. I'm going to post it on my Instagram. Let's see if we can find this guy.
Okay.
Well, no. Why don't we put Ariel Helwani on the spot? Maybe Ariel Helwani could help.
Okay. What do you need? How can I help? What do you want? You want me to release it?
Helicopter.
What do you want him to do? Use his nose to sniff him out like a hound?
Listen, I'm telling you. I
like that idea.
I'm trying to right the wrong. This trophy, it's coming to you, Henry, for last year. It might even come to you for Fighter of the Year of 2019 and for the coach doing his thing. I mean, no one is comparing to what you guys are doing right now, and it's amazing. Eric, why did you not let him retire back then? You were the only one that believed in this guy, it seemed. Why did you not let him do that? He accomplished enough at that point. He was an Olympic champion.
Because I thought, because of Saturday night. Because I knew one day he could be one of the greatest, and that's why. Simple put. That's what I told him. You could be the greatest one day. You're going to be world champion.
Henry, are you serious about 145?
Why not? You guys going to count me out again? Jesus, I love it. I think so. The fight that I would really want, Ariel. And this has nothing to do with this. I mean, it just has everything to do with competition. Is if Frankie Edgar wins this fight against Max Holloway, that's a fight that I'm interested in. And we had talked about it before. Coach Captain Eric has mentioned it in interviews. I like the fact. I like his stature. I think the height seems very well. He's a wrestler. I think if he wins this fight with Max Holloway, I think me and him can throw down. It's nothing against Frankie. I want to compete against the best, man. I know he took offense when I called him out with the Marlon Moraes. I know he didn't believe in me, but why not? Why can't I win another belt? They've been telling me I couldn't. They've been telling me I can't. They told me I was going to get knocked out in the second round against Marlon. They told me I was going to get stopped by Demetrius Johnson. They told me I was going to get stopped by TJ Dillashaw. Dude, the sky's the limit, man. I want to challenge my mind, body, and soul, and if he wants this fight, and if he wants to do it, let's make it happen.
Would you like to fight again this year, or do you think you're going to have to take the rest of the year off because of the injuries?
I'm gonna have to play that by ear, but no, I would like to fight towards the end of the year for sure. I would like to headline it too, man. There's no more me being co-main event either. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the new face of the UFC. I really do. My credentials. Nobody in the UFC has my credentials. Nobody. Not Conor McGregor. Nobody. And I want to be paid like one. I want to be treated like one.
After the win in January over TJ, you went on like a 3-month world tour celebrating. What do we got planned for this one?
I'm going back to Brazil. I remember I made that promise that I would go back to Brazil and celebrate with them. I'm going to take that belt down there. I'm going to go to Mexico. I'm going to go to a bunch of different. I'm going to go to Dubai. I have a good friend that's going to be fighting down there, so I'll be hanging out with the Sheikh and the royal family.
Dang. Look at
you. Just doing big things there, man. And hopefully people see that I'm the truth, man. Like there's no denying it. You don't get lucky 4 different times. You just don't.
It's amazing.
And,
I hope you get a lot of sponsors
if
now.
anything, yeah, I hope so. Maybe I'm just not cringy enough, or maybe I'm gonna dye my hair blonde, man. I don't know. I gotta do something there.
No, don't do that. Please don't do that. Could I just ask?
I will say this.
Yes, go ahead.
I will say this. Leading up to the Olympics area, I was a kid that was sponsored by everybody: Coca-Cola, Polo Ralph Lauren, Adidas, BMW, Crest, Tide. The biggest brands in the freaking world, and I get to MMA, it's just like, I don't know. I thought the cringiness would be cool, but I guess not.
No, do not doubt yourself. It's working. Trust me, it is working. Good things are going to come. I have no doubt of it. Let's end on this since you brought up the Olympics. You said after you beat DJ, that was a big deal, but the Olympics will always trump everything. Now that you've gotten 2 belts and you're in this rare category with some of the greatest ever, are we starting to rival how you felt after winning in 2008, or will that still always be number 1 for you?
Oh man, I think it'll always be number 1.
Okay.
Because if you watch my excitement when I won there, Ariel, it's one of the most precious, beautiful celebrations you'll ever see in your life. I've never been somebody. I've never really until now, but before I won the Olympics, I was never really a show. I never really showed emotion after winning. But I remember the whole year of 2007, I had just gone through. I couldn't win a tournament to save my life. Like everything was just going wrong, but I still stuck to the race. And when I won the Olympics, down every match, I remember grabbing the American flag and just yelling like from the top of my lungs. But I was actually crying. Like it's an emotion that only a world champion could ever feel, man. It's this emotion that's you're so happy that it brings like a sadness to it. And this one was special because of that. Because Marlon was a killer, man. Marlon is on a 15-fight win streak. Has knocked out his last 3 opponents in the first round. I mean, the dude is dangerous, and I was able to be the guy that I knew that could probably shut my lights out and prove everybody wrong once again and become double champ. I'm an instant Hall of Famer, Ariel.
Yes. It's amazing. It's an incredible story.
Now,
who would have thought?
Now,
yeah.
Dana White,
yeah.
hold on, I got a message for Dana White. I want you to tag him.
Okay.
I says, Dana White, this is enough, man. Welcome to this is your new face to the UFC. His name is Henry Cejudo. He is the Olympic champ, flyweight champ, and now bantamweight champion of the world. And I want to get paid. My name has officially changed from the Messenger to Triple C. And you can add another 0 to that check, Dana White, or you can have both belts.
That's it. You're going to walk away. You are willing to walk away if you don't get paid accordingly. Accurate, inaccurate.
I gotta get paid. I gotta get paid. Or if that's what I have to do, then you know what? You can have both of them. He already promised him to keep the flyweight division. Keep it. Keep your word. I just want to get paid.
For now, enjoy the victory, Henry. Heal up. I hope you get out of Chicago and are able to, be okay on your way out and keep doing that thing right there. That's the thing. I love that thing. Whatever that look is, whatever you channel while you do that, please keep doing it because it's just phenomenal. That is the moneymaker. I love it.
I channel the chi. It's the chi within me.
Thank you, Henry. Congratulations to you, Captain Eric, and the rest of the team. I appreciate this very much.
Yeah. Thanks again, Eric. You're the man. Thank you. You're a big part of this too, man. Thank you for pushing me and allowing me to be me.
There he is, Henry Cejudo. How do you not love that guy? I mean, really. He's so likable. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He's fun. He's entertaining. He fights like a madman. He sometimes acts like a madman. Come on. The crown, the cape, the toys, the gifts. It was amazing. The breathing. I love the breathing. I love that thing. It's great. Henry Cejudo coming into his own. I remember being in Chicago last year for UFC 225, talking to him on the phone about taking the fight against Demetrius Johnson. It was him or Jussier Formiga. He was not that guy. I always believed he was that guy, but he just wasn't comfortable enough putting himself out there like this. Now you see the confidence. Like, you can see it there in front of us. It's oozing out of him. You see a confident man. He's fighting that way. He's acting that way. He's doing his interviews that way. It's a beautiful thing. So congratulations to Henry Cejudo. Congratulations to Valentina Shevchenko. How nice is Valentina Shevchenko? She texted me in the middle of the show. Wanted to have her on. She's meeting with the Chinese consulate and apologized profusely that she cannot come on the show and said she'd love to come on in the future. No problem at all. Great win for her. Congratulations to her. Tony Ferguson, great win for him. He's back. He's in a good place mentally and physically. He seems at peace. He seems happy. He seems calm. He seems collected. He needs a title shot. Let's hope that he gets a title shot. He deserves that big fight. He has done enough. And then, of course, as we look ahead now, the big show this weekend is Bellator MSG. No UFC this weekend, but Friday night at MSG, it's going to be a great one. Roy McDonald, Neiman Gracie, Chael Sonnen, Lyoto Machida, Kyoji Horiguchi, Darion Caldwell, the return of Aaron Pico, and many more. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be there for that one on Friday, covering it for ESPN. And how great is this? A year ago tomorrow was my last show for MMAfighting.com. A year ago Friday, my first day here at ESPN. And what a year it has been. It has been a fun year, but we got more work to do. We got a lot more fun. We got a lot more fun left in us. It's going to be great. I'm excited. I'm excited to have year one behind us. I feel a lot better today than I did this time last year. This time last year, I was very nervous. I was anxious. I was excited. I was a little sad leaving my friends, but I was really excited. But you know, when you change jobs, you feel a little weird about things. You're not sure how it's all going to turn out. I'm happy to say it has turned out well so far, but we got more work to do, so don't go anywhere. I appreciate all the support, and I appreciate everyone that has followed us here and continues to support. Thank you very much to all our guests today. It has been a fun day here on The Helwani Show. Thank you very much to Chael Sonnen for coming in studio. Thank you very much to Cris Cyborg. Great stuff, as always, from her. Thank you very much to Michelle Waterson. I love the passion. I love the emotion. Thank you very much to King Mo. Happy trails, my man. Congrats on a great career. Thank you very much to Calvin Kattar. Thank you very much to Mark Henry, and congrats to him, by the way, on Katlyn Chookagian's win. I failed to congratulate him. Thank you very much to Aljamain Sterling. Thank you very much to Katlyn Chookagian. And, of course, thank you very much to the great Henry Cejudo and his coach, Captain Eric Albarracin. Back next week, same time and place. Till I say peace. I'm out of here.